Okay. I think we are live. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? Me talking. One of my tabs accidentally unmuted. Woo. All right, for all the VOD watchers that are coming in, hello, and everybody that is starting now, appreciate you jumping in. I will provide also for the VOD watchers a timestamp as usual in the description of the tournament. I actually might put the timestamp in the pinned comment on the YouTube video. So then, because I know sometimes that people get like spoiled of stuff in the comments, so that might help out with that, with the pinned comment. Yo, what's up, Mike? Give me the cat. She is sleeping somewhere. I think she's sleeping in the bedroom with my girlfriend. But I hope you're having a good day, friend. What's good? How are you? Chat, the Miyagi CS is going on tonight. We will be watching the live stream of the Miyagi CS, and the link to it is also in the description of the YouTube video, by the way, if you want to go watch this for yourself. Oh, I see her. She has heard your call. She is walking over, and I'm sure she is going to jump on my lap this evening. She probably heard me talking and was like, "Oh, it's time to come over." Oh, you see the tail? You see the tail right here? Come on, Morticia. You're a movie star. You're a movie star. Hello. Oh man, chat. I'm really curious of how this championship is going to go. We saw Gavin tweet on Twitter, one of the Japan commentators. He didn't say anything like last time to where there was like a spicy deck or anything like that. So I feel like this could be a pretty vanilla top cut, right? A lot of blue, purple, maybe some green, purple, maybe a Teach in there, Rayleigh. Maybe not anything different. Yo, what's up, a name? More Zoro Sanji, please. I would be stoked if there was more Zoro Sanji, because that deck was cool, and I think that it deserves another chance. Hey, drive safe, Mike. Drive safe. Yeah, Morticia. She is here. You'll never see my other cat. You'll never, ever see my other cat. Unless I put her in like a YouTube video or something. Yo, what up, Tony? Is this the Tony from Tier 1? That's crazy. What's good? I still have my Gundam deck ready. Chat. So if you do not know, oh, hi, Morticia. Gundam released their starter decks today, and they also released this deck box, which I love from the back. And I got these sleeves. I got these custom sleeves of Sabrina Carpenter drinking from the flask that I definitely would never take to a regional or anything like that, but for locals, it's pretty funny. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's had some fun since the last stream that we had on a Thursday. Remember, chat, every Tuesday, Thursday, 6:30 p.m., we are going to be live streaming the Tier 1 tournament over at Tier 1, the card shop over in Las Vegas. Houses our studio. This is the home studio, though, because I don't need to be at Tier 1 at midnight. I don't need to be there. We're gonna definitely stream on Tuesday this week. Thursday, I'm gonna be traveling. I'm gonna be taking my girlfriend. We're going on vacation a little bit, taking her somewhere. So Thursday, I will show you guys the Tier 1 Twitch channel, which is where they're gonna stream it on, and where they stream like most of the other games, like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, but I hope everybody's having a good day. Curious to see what is in this week. Another week of the starter decks. Maybe Buggy will actually make it through, right? Buggy, the deck that I clown on all the time. Maybe now it's time for Buggy. Maybe now it's time, chat. Buggy, if Buggy made top 16 in this tournament, I would be pretty happy about that. Because I do genuinely think that Buggy, even though I dunk on Buggy a lot, I do genuinely think that Buggy is a good deck. But I'm not ready to put it like that high in a sense, you know? I do think Buggy is a good and viable deck, but I think it's like, especially in OP12, I think Buggy is probably somewhere along the lines of like purple black Luffy or something like that. I'm super hyped for Gundam locals too, Tony, especially on Mondays. I might have to jump on the cast for Monday locals from time to time so then I can get my reps in for Gundam. Yo, you won 2 locals with Buggy. See, like, I do think that Buggy is a good deck. Like, if it were to win like a Japan CS, I would be like, oh, that's awesome. I would probably never guess it would win, but it like, I think it's more surprising when the Zoro Sanji, you know, got second, you know, and had a pretty good chance to win. I do respect Buggy, just not enough. Not enough. Oh, Morticia has determined that they got enough pets. All right, girl? Oh yeah, she's bonking on the scratch post. She's good. She's good. Oop. You West Coast coins are sleeping on the clown. I don't know, man. I know that Europe's had some fun with Buggy lately. I know that Europe's had some fun. But yeah, I just feel like Buggy hasn't, it's only gotten like 4th, right, in a regional out here in the West. Is that what it's been? Just 4th place overall, I think, is the highest I've seen it at. Not too bad. Not too shabby at all. But all I'm going to say is that Zoro Sanji has more top 16s than Buggy so far. But it may change tonight. It may change tonight. I have, though, been playing a lot of Blue Nami. I've been playing a lot of Blue Nami lately, chat. Yeah, the Zoro Sanji was a really good meta call. Yeah, and the way that deck was built, too, the deck was built super, super well. I mean, it's like the blue-purple Sanjis that we had the other week, where blue-purple, like those 2 people were piloting the same blue-purple Sanji deck. Just a really, really refined and well-built deck for that tournament. It was so good. I'm really curious, chat, because if you do not know, whether you're in the live chat or in the VOD chat, there is going to be OP13 information that is revealed tonight. Now, whether that's card reveals in OP13 or product news or something like that, we don't know. But the official One Piece team in Japan said that there would be 2013 information revealed tonight during the broadcast. So get your emu leaders ready, you know? Yo, what's up, Martin? What's up, 619 game? Don't play Blue Nami, why not? It's fun. I love drawing cards. Chat, in Las Vegas, a lot of people get mad when people play Blue Nami, right? Just like any other, you know, One Piece trading card game player. But nobody gets mad at me when I play Blue Nami. Or at least they don't say it to my face. They might just not say it to my face. But I'm just having a good time drawing my cards, you know? I'm just having a fun time drawing my cards. But I hope everybody's having a good day. Thank you so much for joining us in this today. I'm slightly tired. Not too tired. But I definitely need this Diet Coke right here to wake me up a little bit. Give me some of that caffeine. Because I spent all day playing Gundam today. I spent all day playing Gundam with the new starter decks that came out. And I've been thinking about Gundam pretty much like all day. Not really for random local tournaments, which is really funny. Oh my gosh, yeah. I really wanted to bring Zoro Sanji to like a local the other day. But there's a couple cards in 12 that the Zoro Sanji plays, like the 2-drop Kyoshiro or Koshiro. Because Kyoshiro is apparently a different person in One Piece. Koshiro? Koshiro? Hopefully I said that right. Like they play that and then Dead Man's Game, so it's like, I don't know. Can't really replicate. And there was another, the 3-drop 2K. The 3-drop Swordsman 2K. I know they like played that too. So I was like, I can't really replicate it, so I'll pass on it. I'll wait until we get closer to OP12. Maybe I'll play it in some OP12 tabletop testing in like the next stream. Be like, how good is this deck? You know? Yo, what's up, Min Hootie? How are you, friend? Welcome on in. No, love George. He's the one that kind of taught me how to play the deck. How do I feel about Gundam so far? Senpai, that's a really good question. I really like Gundam. I think Gundam takes a lot of the good mechanics in a lot of Bandai card games and kind of like puts them together in one game. I think the biggest thing about Gundam, though, is accessibility. Because I know a lot of stores that were cut allocation either entirely for Gundam, at least the starter decks, and I know a lot of people that were cut to just the bare minimum amount of product. I mean, even at tier 1, like they got some starter decks, but they didn't get any of the little figure, the little Gunpla versions of the starter decks, which is crazy. And so I think it's really going to depend on that. On how fun Gundam is, right? Because if there's no players, it's going to be tough. Like you don't want Gundam to be similar to UA, Union Arena, right? Like you want Gundam to be more successful than Union Arena because Gundam is like the Disney of Japan, right? It's a huge IP. But I think the game is really fun. I think the game is cool. I'm not thinking like too hard, right? Because the games right now is just the starter decks, really. I haven't thought too much about the first set that comes out in 2 weeks. The first main expansion comes out in 2 weeks. But I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's cool. Kyoshiro's the guy from Wano with the sick hairdo. That means nothing to me. I'm not that far in One Piece. I don't know what that means. Well, what's up, Sup? Until the game started, could you teach us a little bit about Gundam? Yes, I can. Let me and again, for all the VOD watchers and things like that, I will have a timestamp for when this starts. Let's see. We could just go to YouTube. We could go history, right? I was watching these earlier. Yeah. I'll pull up Sun Pirates as they do it. Yeah, I mean, it's big giant robots fighting each other. Okay, let me get to where they don't have the overlays. Okay, so in Gundam, if you do not know, they have a Dawn system in Gundam. It's called resources in this game. And with the resources, you tap your resources just like in One Piece, and you play out different characters on the field. You don't have leaders or anything like that, but you have life, which is this stuff on the side. It's called shields in the game. And basically, you're trying to swing these into the shields or add different characters. If you enhance, if you look right here on the can you guys see it? Yeah, you guys can see it. If you look on these two sets of numbers that are right here, each of these characters have like attack power and amount of health. And so you can battle these two. So let's say this Gundam right here, GM, battled Zaku 3, I think it is, or Zaku 2. Anyways, this GM is a 2/2 body, a 2 attack and 2 health body. This Zaku 2 is a 1 attack, 2 health body. If these two bodies fought right now in the game, this Gundam would deal 2 damage to the green Gundam, and the green Gundam would deal 1 damage to the blue Gundam. When a Gundam's health reaches 0, it is destroyed, gets put in the trash, discarded, whatever. And you keep the amount of damage on the a Gundam. So like if these two fought, this Gundam, this blue Gundam down here would have 1 health left. And so like you've got different other factors like bases and stuff like that, and triggers. They have a trigger system in there. So yeah. Gundam's kind of like that. It kind of plays like One Piece in that sense. It's similar to Union Arena, where if you hit a life, it either does a trigger or it goes to trash. That kind of thing. Yeah, I don't have ad block. Can I deploy a base if you don't have lives? Yes, Iska, you can actually. You can deploy a base if you don't have any life, because you don't have a requirement if you don't have a requirement to play it, but if you play it, you just add one of your shields to your hand, right? It's not like you can only play it if you add a shield to your hand. It is like you played the card, okay, now you add a shield to your hand. That kind of thing. Yo, Daddy, what's good? No, the tournament hasn't started yet. I went live a little early. We still have about 20 minutes until the stream starts. Look at this Uma Musume player. Chat, I am playing Uma Musume. What's up, AJ? I am playing Uma Musume. I didn't really play today, but I got my daily login bonuses. No. I can't switch from Chrome. I've been using Chrome for so long, and I am so invested in Google Chrome that I am not at the point of saving anymore. You know? Viewer games? I just want to chat right now. I don't want to play games. Because the only games that I want to play right now are like Nami. And let me tell you, there is no way to lose viewers faster than play Nami, you know? You feel me? But I appreciate everybody hanging out in here. It is the Miyagi Championships happening tonight. OP 12.5 in the East in Japan. It's going to be an exciting one of these Miyagi finals, right? Hopefully the top 16 is good. I don't have any insight on what is in the top 16. I haven't seen like on Twitter or anything like that. You know, sometimes I see on Twitter like different people that I follow make top 16 or whatever. But I haven't seen anything like that. Most of the people that I follow, I think, have been like playing in flagships, I feel like, today. Didn't make it into this Miyagi championship, so. But we do know that sometime during the live stream chat, there will be OP13 information put out during this championship. You'd report me if I played Nami. That's crazy. Yo, what up, Kibi? How are you doing, my friend? Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Good to see ya. Oh, hi, Morticia. She's just hanging out, vibing with us, chat. Just vibing over here. Give you a little pet. Can I raise the mic volume a little bit? I can raise it a little bit. I'm almost to like the red, like the part where you're clipping. But I'll raise it a little bit. Jake, what manga is in your collection? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you the manga that's in my collection. All right, Morticia, if you try to get inside the drapes, I am going to take you down from there. So you better not go in. I have... How many volumes of manga do I have? Hold on. Wait, I'm going to put this over here. Let's see. I have a little spreadsheet. Oh, no. Did I delete it? I might have deleted it. I had a spreadsheet for a long time of like what manga I owned. Oh, I do have that. I do have that. The last time I logged this was a long time ago. I think I've hit 3,000 different volumes of manga in my collection. But I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot. I have the entirety of Bleach. I am completely up to date on One Piece. Crazy enough. What are some other box sets that I have? I have Demon Slayer. I have Attack on Titan. I have Quintessential Quintuplets. I have every volume of A Sign of Affection, if you've ever read that. I have the entirety of the Maid-sama series. What else has a lot of volumes? I have all of Mushoku Tensei, all of the novels. Chainsaw Man and Danmachi dominates my bookshelves. 86, another great novel series. I got Horimiya, Otakoi. I got a ton. I used to have a whole manga channel, for anyone who does not know, where I talked about manga all the time. We need more leaders like Blue Nami. I think when Nami rotates, I would be fine if they made another leader, but I don't think multiple leaders should exist at the same time that have that. Now, there could, hey, no, don't go through this. You already ruined the one in the bedroom. You can't ruin the one in the office. Only one you can ruin. What was I saying? I think that if they were to introduce another mill leader, I think it should be a leader that like says something along the lines of like, if you have 15 cards or less in your deck, your leader gains 2,000 power, right? And it's like it's a conditional ongoing effect. I don't if they wanted to do it before Nami rotates. No. All right. You're trying to go through the thing. You're trying to go through the thing. I told you if you try to do that. We can't ruin these shades. I do agree that I would like more alternate win condition leaders in the One Piece trading card game instead of just the one. But I feel like One Piece is also one of those games where it's not easy trying to do that. Because it's not, unlike Pokemon, it's not easy to deck out in One Piece. Because basically every card in your deck has a function that you can play at pretty much like any time, right? So long as you have Dawn. So I feel like the deck out strategy is not something that you can do. So I feel like the deck out for yourself for Nami is good, but I don't know what other win condition you could have besides like getting some what's the Yu-Gi-Oh thing? Exodia, right? I really want to put 86 in my top 5 as well. I don't know what I would put in my top 5 besides like Chainsaw Man. Cuz Chainsaw Man is tattooed on like, I don't know, an eighth of my body. Giant Chainsaw Man tattoo. I also want a card that trashes opponent's deck to win. It would just be so. It would be crazy because like One Piece is so hard to deck out. It's so hard to deck out. Buggy Exodia win. Buggy Exodia could, right? You could get a Buggy Exodia combo because he can take himself apart, right? And then so he could be like all the arms, the legs, you know, the body, the head, all that stuff. Gather the 5 pieces of Kinemon to win the game. I do know that there's the Kinemon cards in like OP11, I think it is, where like it's the top half of his body and the bottom half of his body. Or maybe both of the cards are the bottom half of his body. But like, yeah, you could do like a Kinemon Exodia. That'd be funny. General Frankie Exodia. Yeah, you could either do Buggy or Kinemon. And those would be acceptable answers, chat. Those would be acceptable. But I think alternate win conditions are like tough in One Piece. I've watched some videos of Kinemon in the last, like, since OP11 released. I've watched some videos on Kinemon and it's a cool deck. It's definitely a cool deck. I just think that One Piece is hard to make those implements because it's not like Magic. I feel like Magic creates like wild, insane combos all the time because that's just like what Magic is. But One Piece is just like an insanely more linear game. Like I don't think they want it to be complex. All right, the live stream has started, chat. The live stream has started. Shouldn't the music start? I guess they haven't started the music yet, right? Oh, no. It's because I have it muted. There we go. I was like, where's the music? There we go. Now you guys should be able to hear the music too a little bit. It's probably like super faint for you, but I'm not trying to have the music be louder than me because that'd be weird. Yeah, Magic's in a whole different world. And I don't think One Piece should try to be like Magic. Even though I think there's some inspiration from it for sure. Oh, do you guys think that Celestial Dragon stuff will be revealed today, right? Like the Emu leader or whatever? I don't know much about Emu, but I keep seeing people talk about Emu and Celestial Dragons. And so I assume they're connected in some way. But the OP13 is the 3 brothers, right? 3 brothers bond or something. The will of 3 brothers or something. So I've heard, you're not the first person I've heard say something about Celestial Dragons ready in this set. Yeah, like the Mountain Bandits getting stuff is really cool. It's really, really neat in like PRB and OP13. Hopefully we see a world government card. World government card. So are you... I know some people that are... what was it? Was it Thursday? Some people were saying in chat how they would... Because we asked the question, chat, what leader who doesn't have a leader yet would you... or what character who doesn't have a leader yet would you like to see have a leader in One Piece? And a lot of people said, like, Borsellino. Like another admiral. Yeah, I wonder if they show off the Roger leader tonight, chat. That's a good point. I wonder if they show off the Roger leader, because we know that the Roger leader is red-purple. We know that it's 7,000 power, but that's it. That's it. And I think it is in OP13. So they got to show it sometime. And what better time than to show it during the championship live stream, right? Honestly, Niblo, I hope that we see a purple black Luffy do good too. Yeah, if you have the removal, getting that guy off the field is crazy, but there's not like a ton of removal right now in the format. I mean, you have like red doing mole pistol, and you have like Gum Gum Red Hawk or Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, but it has to be Red Rock because you'll get the +1 on all your characters. So Gravity Blade doesn't work on the Beer Luffy. But yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping we see a purple black Luffy. Because there's a lot of people too, like, because I scroll on social media a lot, chat. I'm on social media almost all the time, unfortunately. But on Twitter, I keep seeing Japanese players, creators make like tier lists of the format and like where decks are at right now in the meta over in the East. And a lot of people hype up purple black Luffy, which we haven't really seen. Now we did see the last championship. It was like a top 5 most populous deck in the entire tournament. But we haven't seen it in the top 16 at all, except for that 3v3. Yeah, I agree, A. Like, I came into this game because the game was cool, not because I knew about One Piece. I don't really know much about One Piece, chat. I just really, really like the card game. I thought it was really fun when I was playing, and I decided to invest into it and play. Rogers 13, yeah. Brooker Frankie leader, please. I agree, Jonathan. It's so sad that not all the Straw Hats have leaders yet. But we have multiple Namis, right? We got multiple Zoros. Multiple Sanjis, actually, too. And, of course, multiple Luffys. Black, Yellow, Brook, Straw Hat leader. Do you think they would go black, yellow, though? Well, that's assuming that it's 13. It could be later in, like, 14. 7 Warlords. Well, Jinbei's the only, like, 7 Warlord, right? So I don't know if Brook or Frankie would make sense in OP14. Wanda, Neko, and Inu. The Minx kind of gets a little bit of support here and there. They got some in OP08. And they also got, like, they got that blue carrot 1-drop. Not that there's any blue Minx, right? Yeah, I'm hoping, Kibi, that the starter deck kind of helps Purple Black Luffy be successful in this tournament. I just want to see it, like, make a really good run, like in the top 4 or something, at least, you know. Oh, Romero, you say Brook is just going to be regular black? No multicolors? I wouldn't mind a 5-life black leader that's not named Rob Lucci. Neko Mamushi, Inarashi, or Wanda leader? I do like Neko Mamushi. Mostly because he's a cat. Yeah, the starter deck with the 10-cost Beppo Law. I completely forgot about that. I forget about that card existing, I've noticed a lot. which is not good, chat. Because I just know there's going to be some freaking Jinbei deck or whatever. Chat, if you missed the live stream on Thursday this past week, we had a Jinbei deck go 3-1 at locals, and it was crazy to watch. And I posted the deck list in the Discord. I should probably tweet out that we're live now. Let me tell Twitter chat, or let me tell Discord that we're live. Miyagi CS going on now. YouTube? I gotta get the YouTube link. What's the YouTube link? Or wait. It's this link, actually. And then Twitch. But chat, I hope everybody's having a good day or night, depending on where you are in the world. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. Appreciate it. I gotta post here, too. There we go. All right. All right, back to looking at you guys' chat. The Lawn Beppo card is, like, not incredible, but it's a good piece. Hamudi, it'll be whenever they start. Oh, the audio's going down, so it's actually starting now. Definitely was not scripted. Kobe just got a huge wave of support, Bonnie. What do you mean? Yo, what up, Mikey? Shirahoshi gets good support in 13 and 14, but it got a lot of support in 12. Or 11. And 12, right? I'm ready to watch some blue-purple Luffy's to lose too, Grass Dog. Just played the most annoying game of your life. Can I pull up Paint real quick to get ready for the screenshot? There we go. Here we go, chat. Man, I would kill for a purple, yellow Rosinante or blue Kuzan. Yo, what's up, Bunny? How are you? Good evening. Woo! Spooky time. Time to watch some blue, purple Luffy. Hope you're doing well, friend. I'm wide awake ready for this. I was born for this, chat. I want the no attacking leaders to be relevant again, Kibi. I'm Bandai. Let me check the audio. I'm turning them down just a little bit. I just don't want them overpowering me, chat. I am the only one in your life. Just kidding, that's not true. Don't take that seriously. I just want to be a little sassy. No, there's just not enough, like, Trafalgar laws running around for the Rosinante to be good, unfortunately. Yeah, 3 a.m. That's why I'm happy that I moved on the west coast of the U.S. So then I can watch these now, because it's only midnight for me. It is the wee hours of midnight now. But it's funny because sometimes people, like my East Coast friends, they'll wake up to start their day and they'll see me at the tail end of these championships like live because it'll be like 6 a.m. over there on the East Coast. Wait, really, Arc Strider? You don't like it? Why not? Is it because a lot of the decks are like Vegapunk or Iceberg or something where they just like spam out these bodies so quickly? Is that why? She's sleeping in the cat tree in our office. Morticia's sleeping in the cat tree. Let's go West Coast. Team West Coast. Let's see. I gotta pull up notifications. I need to see when people follow us on Twitch, like Wizzy Frog. What's up, Wizzy Frog? Thank you so much for following. Appreciate it. You went to bed at 3, woke up at 10. Do you do, Grass Dog, like night shift, if you don't mind me asking? Oh! They just talked about Buggy. I bet Buggy's in this top 16 chat. Chat, I bet Buggy's in the top 16. I know some friends that play Vivi out here in Vegas, and it's really fun. It's really cool to watch. Yeah, the Can't Swing leaders are usually a grind fest. I will agree with that. There's the hashtag chat, promoting the hashtag. Buggy mentioned. I bet Buggy's in this top 16. Watch there be like, you know what, chat? It would just be so karma for there to be like 7 Buggy decks in this top 16. Because I dunk on Buggy any chance I get on Twitter. It would absolutely be karma if there's a lot of Buggy decks. I'm ready for the screenshot of me in shambles. Oh, nice. Congrats on your break, Grass Dog. You deserve it. The glorious Fail King made it. We'll see. They usually talk about the format of the championship first. And I don't think we've seen that yet. Yeah, that's what this is. Is there 650 people, I think, in this tournament? Is that what this says? No, Daddy, I think that was a real thing, because I think I remember seeing that. It was just like someone trying to do like a starve method or something like that. Speaking of Buggy and dunking, that would be a wild basketball card. Somebody hit up Bunny, you should make Buggy dunking as a custom leader card. Oh, chat. Here's the meta distribution. We've got Blue Purple Luffy at 26%. Zoro at 15%. Green Purple Luffy at 10%. You got Teach at 6%. Bonnie at 5.3%. Green Yellow Law on the move up, chat, in the meta share, 4.8%. You got Silver's Rayleigh at 3.9%. This is Smoker here at 3.5%. Buggy at 3.5%. And Shanks at 2.5%. Here's the not full screen so you can see those percentages. And then the rest of the decks. Oh, here it is. There's no Buggy, chat. There's no Buggy. There is no Buggy. Let's see. I gotta make the, it looks like there's 3 smokers, chat. There are 3 smokers in here, so I will go over the distribution in a second. I'm just gonna try to get some clout on Twitter. Miyagi CS top 16 breakdown. You've got Blue Purple Luffy at 4. You've got OP12 Zoro at 4. You have Red Green Smoker at 3. Green Purple Luffy at 2. You've got Silver's Rayleigh at 1. What was the other one? Kido. Oh, Eustace Captain Kid. Bonnie at 1 and Eustace Captain Kid at 1. Yellow Kid won. All right, time to get my Twitter clout, chat. No buggy, chat. Zoro still has more tops in the Japan Championships than Buggy. What a wild time to be alive. And so this match, we're actually in the top 16, going to be watching Bonnie. Okay, so Bonnie has a lot of relevancy out in the West, and I know a lot of people were really excited about Bonnie at the beginning of the big purple, blue, multicolored Luffy format, right? Because Bonnie having a pretty decent matchup into something like blue, purple Luffy, being able to rest anything on the field is very nice for a lot of different reasons, is going to be facing up against Red Green Smoker. So this will be interesting, I think. I haven't thought about this matchup too much. Red Green Smoker being able to restand Dawn, right, as well as give its Punk Hazard and Navy type characters plus 1,000 power. Going to be a really interesting matchup, right? Green versus green here. Ooh, yeah, Yellow Kid running Kuma, that Kuma secret rare, probably sick. Kid is definitely not 50% win rate with everybody. That's definitely not true, Messi. That's just literally lying. Zoro's also not brain dead. That's lying. If Yellow Kid had a 50-50 against everything, it would top way more often. Hot take. I have a good friend that plays a lot of Yellow Kid, and I think he would say the same thing. All right, chat. All right, chat, place your bets. Who do you think it's going to win? Looks like the Smoker hand is what we've got here first. Has two searchers in the Perona and Virgo. If you watch the live stream, chat, that we had on Thursday where the Red Green Smoker won our local tournament, he did say that in OP12, you do play that Perona searcher. So two Tony Chopper blockers as well. Nice little 2Ks. And a Paradise Waterfall. If you watched my YouTube video this morning, chat, where I told you what cards you should buy before OP12, I did say Paradise Waterfall. Don't tell you that I was wrong. The Bonnie as well, also talking about a card that I mentioned in that Market Watch video, in Arouge. Arouge has made a return both in OP11 and 12 into the Bonnie deck list, and this Bonnie also having two Cavendishes right from PRB, a Tashigi 2K, and a Dracul Mihawk 8 cost in the hand. So two very interesting hands. The Smoker getting two searches in the beginning of the game is going to be very, very nice. And here we go into this first round. The Smoker going first is going to go ahead and play the Virgo, right? Prioritizing the Punk Hazard type cards that it can find rather than the slash type characters. And so finds that 5-drop Smoker, puts it in hand, passes the turn. Smoker going to be a great card in this matchup, right? Burning the life. And so Bonnie, no 1-drop Bonnie Searcher, but did get a blocker Bonnie secret rare off the top of the deck, just passes the turn, and now Smoker swinging 5 is going to rest that Virgo with the leader effect and take the life. No trigger right there as that 2-cost Rosinante, and now the Perona searching into the deck does find a couple different cards. We see Sanji in there, can't grab that, but can go ahead and either grab that green event, another Paradise Waterfall, or the 8-cost Dracul Mihawk. I think because you got another Waterfall in hand, you go ahead and grab that 8-cost Dracul Mihawk. Going to be really, really nice to restand and reutilize Dawn, right? Smoker being so good already at reutilizing Dawn, the Dracul Mihawk is going to accelerate that as well. So Bonnie swinging 5 now at lead at 4 Dawn at this point, is going to go ahead and rest the 4 for an Eroge, and at the end of turn, that Eroge, or however you pronounce it, I'm not sure, is going to restand 1 Dawn to be able to use with leader effects. So we'll see a leader swing definitely first on this one. Another 5,000 poke, just going to be resting one of these searchers, the Perona being the target this time around. And we'll probably end up seeing the Smoker, right, the 5-cost Smoker hit the field on this turn, right? A great card to play on curve right now, especially on this odd curve. And so with the 5-cost smoker effect and the leader effect, is going to be able to restand 3 Dawn and attach and get another 5,000 poke with the Virgo. Looks like the smoker definitely probably at the advantage right now, both life at 3. But Bonnie still has plenty of a chance to get into this game, the 5K swing, prompting a 2K. And if you look at the hand for the smoker, lots of Mihawks, lots of Hody Jones, right? Lots of non-counter in this hand. So if the Bonnie can get aggressive, right, and continue swinging at the board, or I'm sorry, at life, might be able to snag a couple life for just the price of a 5,000 power swing. And so playing the double bodies of Cavendish and Tashigi, we do know that smoker lists oftentimes play the Gum Mole Pistol event card. So Tashigi, a really good play alongside the Cavendish to be able to protect it against a potential Mole Pistol. So looks like drawing in for turn. Looks like a 2-drop blocker from OP12, the Koshiro on there. So might be something that they play, right? Does give a protection against the smoker. Could also play Hody Jones, right, on curve on this 7. Could be something that we see and maybe try to rest the blocker as well as the Cavendish and swing into the Cavendish. Got some pretty strong swings on the coming for it, but do you want to give up a life at this point? It looks like he is going to do it. Is going to play that Hody Jones and go ahead, rest the Dawn, rest the Cavendish to make sure that no Bonnie leader effect can happen on this turn, right? You're going to be able to utilize all your Dawn, especially, or all your swings, especially after utilizing the leader effect and the 5-cost smoker effect. And so this first swing, 7,000 power, going to be banished, right? You don't want to give up 2 cards. It's cheaper to just give up a life on that swing. Has 3 Dawn left and now an 8,000 power swing going at the Cavendish, I believe he said. So thinking about potentially the block on this one. You do have 2 2Ks, so if they go ahead and swing 8,000 power with leader at the Cavendish, you will be able to either 2K, 1K, right, with the 5-cost Secret Rare Bonnie. You've got the Rosinante as well, but thinking about maybe resting 2 and playing this Koshiro, right? But opting to attach all 3 to the leader, swing at the Cavendish, I believe it was. So he's thinking about just a 2-1 combo right here. Going Tashigi and the Rosinante. Passing off the turn. I like keeping the Izo here, right? Because especially like Usohachi that we've talked about in so many of the purple decks that are running around in the format, right? Just a good way to get around chum blockers. We know that the smoker right now in hand has that 2-drop Kyoshiro, and I would imagine that the Bonnie assumes that in the deck that 2-drop chum blocker is going to be in. And so leaving that Izo as long as possible in the hand is going to maybe make sure that once you're trying to go for game, right, you're going to be able to do that. So is going to be starting out with a 5K swing at lead, is going to prompt a 1K or a 2K, just that 1K 2-drop blocker that we mentioned. And now resting all the Dawn for a Dracula Mihawk, restanding 4 Dawn in total. Why this Dracula Mihawk is so good, right? Utilizing the Dawn, and Cavendish as well, going to be reutilizing 2 more Dawn to put you at 6 more Dawn for the turn. So we'll see what he decides to do on the distribution of the Dawn. Is just going to do the 2 for the Cavendish, and you can just give up a Tony Chopper 2K, not revealing too much information at this point. And the secret rare Bonnie from OP12 going to be coming out onto the field, and because you have enough rested cards on the field, going to be able to do a little bit of filtering on that draw 2 trash 1, pitching the 9-cost Shanks. So restanding the Dawn on that Bonnie effect is going to pass the turn with 2 Dawn active. Thinking about maybe another Hody Jones, right? That way they have to choose either utilizing the Hody Jones on both of the Dawn or maybe like a combination of the blockers and Dawn. Kind of an interesting situation right now, but I think probably on this 9 Dawn turn, going to be playing the 8-drop Dracula Mihawk, right? Getting a blocker, establishing that on field, maybe playing down the Sanji as well, I would say, and leaving some Dawn up for the Paradise Waterfall event might be good. We'll see exactly what he decides to do on this turn with so much Dawn still left open. Yeah, what's up, Carlos? Red-green smoker in here. So he is going to go ahead now, swing 8,000 power at lead. This is an 8,000 power banish swing as well. And so now, with the Dracula Mihawk block, if you do want to go ahead and block, you're going to have to be able to counter out of the swing as well, right? So uses leader effect to rest the Hody Jones. I like that. Hody, just a dangerous card right now in this matchup because it is a matching Dracula Mihawk in terms of power without any Dawn investment. Still has to decide what he wants to do, and it looks like he's going to block and 2K out of it. Interesting blocking and 2K, really valuing that Jewelry Bonnie Searcher that he's got in hand right now, right? Maybe trying to utilize that in the next turn to find a piece, right? Maybe doesn't want to play this carrot, but the 8-cost Dracula Mihawk comes down, is going to use the leader effect of the 5-cost smoker and the regular smoker to have 7 Dawn left up, right? Could potentially play a lot and distribute the Dawn a lot on this turn, right? Could play that 3-cost Sanji still. You could play over one of those pesky searchers, right? Those 1-drops on the field. We'll see how this goes. It looks like kind of a tricky spot because, like, it looks like the Bonnie is kind of one step away from running away in this game, I feel like. Especially when both sides can play Hody Jones, right? The tides can turn in an instant in this game. So attaches 2. Swings potentially 7, maybe thinking about attaching more or maybe less at this point. The Bonnie, I believe, a 6,000 power character, right, is a 6,000 power blocker. So attaching way more than just 2, ends up attaching 4 swings, 9,000 power at lead, ends up taking that life and passes off the turn, respecting the Hody Jones at this point, right, leaving 3 Dawn up for the Paradise Waterfall that may be in hand. And if the Hody Jones comes in and maybe rests the Dracula Mihawk blocker, you'll be able to restand one of your characters with that Paradise Waterfall event in hand. So is definitely an interesting part. Top decking the 9-drop Shanks. Could go in and play that 9-drop Shanks and get rid of something like the Hody Jones or the 5-cost Smoker, right? 5-cost Smoker. Having that banish on it is definitely an annoying target, right? Especially because on the defensive side, that 5-cost Smoker is now an 8,000 power character because of the red-green Smoker leader effect, right? Of boosting the Navy and Punk Hazard type characters plus 1,000 on opponent's turn. So starts out with the 5K swing, just gets rid of that 1K 3-cost Sanji right there. Does not need it at this stage of the game, right? What's going to win you the game, I feel like, at this point, is the guy named Hody Jones in your hand. So 2 blockers still on the field. Going to play that 9-drop Shank to get rid of the Smoker, as I talked about. 9 Dawn put away for the Bonnie. Just 1 Dawn left before the Cavendish goes in and swings. Cavendish is going to be able to restand 2 Dawn on your turn, right, to get you at 3 Dawn total as active. And ends up doing exactly that, just swings 6 at lead. Still a blocker right here on the field. We'll see if he uses the 2K Tashigi in hand to get out of this swing. If he wanted to get any more life on this turn, right, as the Bonnie, you would have to swing with one of your blockers, and I think that's a fair trade that the Smoker wouldn't mind having right now. You're not really afraid of losing at this point, I think. It's just a matter of when you exactly want to take that life, right? Definitely a game that can swing in so many different directions with a matchup that we haven't usually seen in these Japan championships, right? Red Green Smoker had a really great run in the Japan finals, but since then has been a little bit more quiet. So ends up blocking that 6,000 power swing, doesn't reveal anything in the hand. And so now at this point, if you want to, as the Bonnie swing, right, at least you would be giving up some blockers on the field, right? You were able to keep all the cards in your hand, right, and stay at the life. So you kind of give a tricky position of whether or not the Bonnie wants to go aggro or not on this turn. So we'll see. I would imagine that they wouldn't swing right at this point. You've got a fair amount of counter in hand. You've got the 2K in that X-Drake. You've got some 1Ks in the Keratin Bonnie, as well as that zero cost event that'll give you plus 3,000 power. So now the Smoker top decking the 1 cost of Virgo. Has a little bit of counter in hand, especially with that event. But how aggressive would a Hody Jones be at this point, right? You'd put yourself down to 1 life. You would be able to potentially go for game, maybe. Probably not, actually, because you lost the 5-drop Smoker. I don't know if playing Hody Jones would be a good idea right here. Because you kind of put yourself in a position to where you could get gamed, right? Especially on a Hody Jones. Be able to restand 2 Dawn with leader effect after you played the Hody Jones. If you played the Dracul Mihawk at this point right now, you would also be getting a brick out of your hand. Not that that really matters. You would have 2 blockers, so a Hody Jones would still be able to rest both of them. But after the Dracul Mihawk, right, you restand 4. You'd have 6 in total, and then you can restand 2 more. So you'd have 8 Dawn total. After that, that's crazy. Did I do that math right? So it looks like he is going with the aggressive Hody Jones, getting the Bonnie and Dracul Mihawk blockers. He's going to have to swing with the Dracul Mihawk potentially to be able to get this game right. Only 5 Dawn to work with right now. Did find Dead Man's Game as well. Dead Man's Game only resting 2 Dawn, though, would still leave 1 Dawn up for the Bonnie side to be able to use leader effect. So you probably just leave that, right, to be able to use as a counter event at this point. And so Bonnie on the attack, right, from the Hody Jones, the first one, 8,000 power, ends up resting the Dracul Mihawk blocker. Smart play. He's got a lot of counter in hand. I think the Bonnie might be able to get this just simply because there's enough counter in hand, right? If the Smoker goes aggressive, you'll be able to get out of it. There's 2 swings you still have to worry about, though. Right? And so the math being 9-9, right? 4 to the leader and 1 to the Hody Jones. Can you get out of 9-9 after taking this life? I don't know if you can, actually. Yeah, I actually think you can get mathed out here as the Bonnie. What can save you right here? Something that rests on a trigger? No, just finds a 1K. And so ends up swinging 8,000 power. He's going to go 810, I think. Is going to use the zero cost event to pitch the 1K and then give another 1K on top of that. And the rest jammed onto the Smoker is going to be able to get the game, and Smoker moving into the top 8 round of this championships. A great job right in this matchup, balancing the aggression against a Bonnie, right? Bonnie, as time goes on, it feels like in the One Piece trading card game, becomes a stronger and stronger deck. So being able to be on that aggressive side, being able to go in at face constantly, ignore those blockers, is going to put it in the top 8 round of this championship. Chat, hopefully you're like Carlos and you enjoyed that round. There should be here soon OP13 information that is broadcasted during these championships. So do not go anywhere right now. We might see some OP13 reveals anytime now. And if you're watching the VOD, or maybe you're watching the video of this top 16, go to the VOD of this. I'll link the VOD at the end of the video at the end card. So, they are talking about OP13. Yeah, Hody Jones is like a crazy card. The fact that both Hody Jones and Dead Man's Game exist at the same time is crazy. Let me see that emu leader. Yo, what up, T-Mac? How are you, friend? Fish bunk carry. Chat, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying your time. Chat, if you're enjoying the content, right, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, as Touch and also New Tuamoto. Thank you so much for following on Twitch. Make sure to follow or subscribe yourself to the channel. We will be live for all of the matches here in the championship. If they show off cards like they have in the past, I'll exit full screen on this. Oh, they're showing something. Whoa, new Sabo leader, chat. Look at that red-black Sabo leader. Holy smokes. Look at that guy. He is gorgeous. Let me put this up in Google Translate. Google Translate, images, flip, browse. All right, chat. If your life is 4 or more, this Sabo gets minus 1,000 power. But if you have a character with the cost of 8 or more, your leader and all characters gain 1,000 power. Holy crapola, chat. Holy crapola. Shoo! That's pretty good. Dressrosa Rev Army. Sabo. Dressrosa. Revolutionary Army. If you have 4 or more life, this leader gets minus 1,000 power. I'm tweeting it, chat. You do not know. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, this leader and all your characters get plus 1,000 power. Dang, and that's it. Those are both ongoing effects, chat. Those are both ongoing effects. Whoa, look at the ace! Red blue! Red blue, chat. Oh my gosh, I'm going to town right now. Let me try to translate this for you, chat. This has a lot more words. Let's see. All right, chat. Ace. You can discard 1 card from your hand per turn. If you discard 1 card from your hand during your turn, you give up to 1 leader minus 2,000 power during this battle? One time, Dawn times 1 once per turn when you receive damage or your original power. Or your original, or a character with an original power of 6,000 or more is KO'd, draw a card. Interesting. So that, again, this Dawn times 1 once per turn. When you receive damage or one of your characters with an original power of 6,000 or more is KO'd, Draw a card. Interesting. That's a lot to type out right now. A lot to type out. What does this ace say? Whitebeard? It's a Whitebeard Pirates? What is this? Is this on opponent's turn? Dang, I don't know. I'll stop tweeting chat. What did you just say to me? Here, I'll... Okay, hurry before they put up the Luffy. If you have 4 more life, this leader gains a minus 1,000 power. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, this leader and all your characters gets plus 1,000 power. So the Karasu is on itself. Oh yeah, we got the red-green Luffy leader. That's right. I forgot about that. Yo, what's up, Joy Boys? Phew, a break. Thank God. I'm dying over here. On attack once per turn. Oh, for the ace. On opponent's attack once per turn. Yeah, trash a card from hand minus 2,000. When your opponent attacks once per turn, you can discard 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters loses 2,000 power for the duration of the battle. And then... let me see. Trying to shorten up this tweet. Let's see. Trying to be famous, chat. $2K. There we go. Got it. Cool. Basically Shanks, but you lose a card. I don't think Ace will have an impact like blue-purple, but he seems good. Well, red-blue is a weird color combination, right? I mean, red-blue and red-black are both weird color combinations that haven't really worked in the game. I'll be really curious about the Ace, right? Because Marco, right? There's plenty of Whitebeard support in the Marco. So how can it build off the Marco? And like what Marco can do. Papa Mike, this is a pretty diverse meta. So I like the game a lot right now. I don't know if you were around when Red Purple Law or Sakazuki was running rampant. But this meta is way better than that. No, the go to Sabo. The go to Sabo. The fact that Ace does nothing with its previous support is hilarious. If it's just battle, shouldn't it be on your attack? No, it can be on your opponent's attack. It can be on your opponent's attack. Because your opponent battles, right? Yeah, I'm gonna play that new Sabo. It looked really good. Marco can't run Fire Fist or... Oh, because your leader has to be Ace, right? Yeah, blue's a good... I mean, blue's one of the better colors in the game. Right? Or... Well, I don't know about that right now, actually. I take that back. I take that back. No, it's only... It's not even 1 a.m., Hunter. Yeah, I know that Flame Emperor requires you to have Ace. Let's go to Eggman real quick. Oh, yeah. So Fire Fist doesn't have that requirement. Or wait, no, this Fire Fist. I'm an idiot. Yeah, this doesn't have the requirement. It's just Flame Emperor. Flame Emperor has the requirement, right? Because if your leader is Ace. The Roger leader's in 13, yeah, AM. Striker? I don't even know what Striker does. Oh, that's the stage. Yeah, this is Cheeks. Having to activate main 2 Dawn? No. That's Cheeks. All good, Joy Boys. I get stuff wrong all the time. Green Yellow Bonnie or Green Blue Bonnie? Green Blue would be crazy. I would love another Green Blue leader. Me and my Rosinante. Yeah, we have 5-cost blocker Sabos. A 5-life Sabo duo. Wait, was he 5-life? I didn't even notice that, chat. He's 5-life. We're so in. We're so in, chat. I was too focused on the description that I forgot that he was a 5-life leader. Insane. Insane, chat. We're so in. We're so in. 6K Ace with 3 life. No, he's... Oh my god, he is a 6K with 3 life. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say on a 4-life leader, like, when you're at 4 or less life, getting minus 1,000, that's not too bad because you just take the first life. But now that he's a 5-life leader, it's making a little bit more sense. It's making a little bit more sense. It has to be on attack when it says for a battle. Yeah. I did, Bonnie, watch... I did watch some videos of Red Green Luffy in OP13. Some people like proxied it up. I did watch that. I did watch some videos of that, and it is a really cool deck. There's some really cool ideas that you can do with it. Yo, what's up, Iska? Salzar, what's going on? Garp Dragon Leader, red, yellow. That could be cool. Well, would they have another red, like, Rev Army leader, though? Or red, yellow? Because they have that with Bello Betty. Would they do another one? And they have it with Sabo as well. They wouldn't make a third red, yellow Rev Army leader. They would make it, like... What would they make it? Black? Maybe? Time to pick up your copies of Dragon? I've had them the whole time. When does the next game start? Whenever they broadcast it. I have no idea. Should be soon, though. Should be any second now. Yeah, we don't know much about Roger. Yeah, being a 4K leader sucks. That's going to be why it's bad. It's because you're going to have to eat like the first 3 swings of the game. Roger 1 life 7K starts with 10 Dawn. No way. That would actually be broken. Chat. If a leader started out with 10 Dawn, it would break the game. I stand by that. Oh wait, yeah, because we know 4 of the leaders now, chat, in OP13. Red Green Luffy, Red Black Sabo, Red Blue Ace, and Red Purple Roger. 4 of the leaders in OP13 are red. That's insane. Do you think they're all going to be red, chat? Emu's going to be red. Surely there's not another red leader. Surely. Instead of gaining 2 Dawn every turn, you lose 2. That would actually be quite interesting. But I think that would still... Would that be good? You would just play like... Especially because you're purple, you would just play a lot of ramp cards, right? And you would like reverse ramp. You would just ramp to stay up. That would actually be super interesting. Yo, what's up, Bam? Just like that. How are you, friend? Three green leaders in OP06. Perona. What were the leaders in OP06? Wait, what? Because I know there was like Perona, Gecko. Oh, Yamato. Yamato. Hody. That's right. It's Hody. Hody was in that set. Yeah, 2-cost Fire Fist was a tech in Red Purple Law at one point. It was a good way to get bigger characters down in power to bottom deck. If there was I wonder what would happen if there was a tricolor leader in the game. Oh, chat, the match is going to be starting soon. Best of 8 and best of 4. I know what that means. All right, chat. The meta share looks like Zoro and Smoker. And is that blue purple Luffy? Or I never get this right, chat. That is blue purple Luffy right here. So blue purple Luffy, Smoker, and Zoro each at 2. And then you have green purple Luffy at 1. And also the Kid. The uses Captain Kid making it up one more round. Poggers. It was a new Sabo Drawer War. It was a new Sabo. It looks like we're watching Yellow Kid chat. Hold on, chat. And so now we're going to be checking out the Zoro, right? Debatably the second best deck in OP12. Green Zoro using that leader effect, Dawn ×3, to be able to restand if you battled a character in the turn, right? A great job at both removing and being aggressive. Is going to have to fight against a little bit of a wall kind of burn deck in the Eustace Captain Kid, right? Eustace Captain Kid being one of the rogue decks in this top 16 of the tournament, in this top 8 round, is going to be able to restand one of their Supernova characters from a cost of 3 to 8 to be a blocker for the defensive side. Pairs really well with Cavendish. This guy is extremely expressive. Did you see his face that he made when he saw that starting hand, chat? That's crazy. That's crazy. Deciding to keep the hand, I think. He's got 2 searches, a Zeus, a 7-cost law, and an 8-cost kid. It's going to be crazy. Gonna be crazy. I'm really curious to see how this match goes, right? Zoro not really being one to draw cards, especially if the 8-cost kid comes down, right, and burns some life. The Zoro is not going to have very many resources very long within this game, and especially because the 7-cost law, right, can heal your life, get you some more life, right, by putting your supernova characters from your hand into there. Could be a really interesting game. I didn't see who was going first, by the way. And so looking at the Zoro's hand first after a mulligan, has a 1-drop searcher in the Hiyori, which is nice, as well as a nice 2K in that Zoro Treasure Cruise promo. Got an 8-drop Dracula Mihawk. We saw that showcased in the top 16 round. And here it is once again back in action. Also a 0-cost event because this side of justice, I've talked about that card numerous times, I feel like in the last week or two on this channel. And also the 3-drop event, Luffy will be king of the pirates, right? Being able to restand one of your Zoro leaders, right? Basically an I'm invincible. The kid on that hand, like I mentioned, has 2 searchers to start out in the game, both 1-drop Luffy's. Has a little bit of removal potential in that Zeus. Could be really nice for something like the 5-drop Cavendish, the 5-drop Tashigi that may come on the field, right? Zeus will be able to clear those bodies at the cost of 1 of its life, but can heal that life right back with that 7-drop Law, and then maybe burn a little bit of life, have a little hand filter in the 8-cost kid. Both 5-life leaders, the Zoro going first on the on curve, is not going to be able to search with the Hiyori, right, but is going to be able to play it down if they want. And so here we go, 1 Dawn, just going to play that Hiyori down, right, preemptively, get it ready for the next turn. Not really in a removal for the kid on 2, probably just going to be doing a ton of searches. We see that 2-drop kid, or I'm sorry, 2-drop Capone Beige that we top off the deck from OP11. Going to be a nice blocker to protect your supernovas. And here we go, we grab Basil Hawkins. Basil Hawkins, going to be a great card in this matchup, right? Has that on KO effect of burning one of your opponent's life. Is a really great option for this Useless Captain Kid deck to be able to put on the field and become a blocker in this. But first, we got to search one more time with the Luffy before we end our 2 Dawn turn. Looking in here, finds another secret rare law, and it looks like is going for that, especially as Zoro can get extremely aggressive in the game, right? The law might be a really nice piece to have to play on consecutive turns because you'll be able to re-heal despite the aggressive tone that the Zoro will bring, right? Constantly re-healing life and gaining life means that the aggression is not as effective. So the Zoro starting out with a 1 Dawn search, right? Resting that Hiyori does not find great stuff at this point, I feel like. Finds a Hody Jones, which is not a slash type character. Hiyori only finding events, green events, or slash type characters, can really only grab the 2K in the Zoro. Opts for no electrical Luna at this point, so may go ahead and just do a 5K swing and play down that 2-drop Kyoshiro, but instead goes ahead, swings 7,000 power. The kid is going to take that first life. Going to be a 2K extra, going to be a nice piece of the puzzle, right, in terms of counter in the hand. And another 7-cost law coming down on, so has plenty of 7-cost laws at this point. And so clearing that Hiyori is now going to swing 5K at lead. 4 Dawn turn, probably going to be a Basil Hawkins. Saw him search that earlier, right? Not a surprising play. A Perona's in the hand for the Zoro, which is going to be nice. But especially on a 5 Dawn turn, The only thing that you can really play off of the Perona is maybe the Kuina, right, if they have that. And so is going to find another Paradise Waterfall. So as I mentioned in my Market Watch video, chat, Paradise Waterfall, a card that Zoro is playing. I saw a comment say that Zoro doesn't play Paradise Waterfall, and I just want you to look right there. Wow, that's crazy. That's a Paradise Waterfall in his hand. It's like I'm crazy, chat. But anyways, is maybe thinking about doing a little bit of searching with the 1-cost Perona. That's not an incredible hand, right? You don't really have much to play on this turn, so you might as well do a little bit of searching on your 7 Dawn turn, get something to play, right? Because right now you don't really have anything to play on your 7 Dawn turn. So ends up going 8,000 power at the Luffy and restands with an 8,000 power swing at lead. We saw the Useless Captain Kid not use leader effect on that past turn, something that was interesting. Just opts to take the life and go down to 3. And now with that Perona search, is going to find a Tashigi, right? Tashigi, a great card, or Cavendish, both slash characters that they can grab and play on the next turn. Maybe opting for the Cavendish, right? Because you can play the Cavendish next turn. You can also play the Koshiro, right? That 2-drop blocker from 12 to get that protection effect in case there's any removal cards, in a sense like Zeus that I talked about earlier for this Useless Captain Kid. So it might be the option that he's going in this grab. So is going to grab that Cavendish. One of the better cards, and why so many people were excited that that EBO1 SR reprinted or announced a reprint in PRB02 coming out later this month in Japan. Useless Captain Kid, playing more than just the 7-cost Secret Rare Law, is going to be playing the Kuma as well, the Secret Rare of OP12. But first, starts out with the 5,000 power swing of the Hawkins. Poke damage, another 5,000 power swing from the Useless Captain Kid, and 6 Dawn to work with on this turn right now. That Kuma right there that you're seeing in the hand is a 6-cost character, so could go ahead and play that down on the field. A very powerful character that's going to be in this game, and we'll see now on this full 6 is going to be playing that down. With that on play, you may trash a card from your hand, and if you do, add the top card of your hand to, or top card of your deck to your life, I'm sorry, and then that character gains +2 costs until your opponent's next end phase. And then on opponent's turn, if it were to get KO'd, right, because Zoro loves battling characters on the field, you'd be able to add another card from the top of your deck to your life. So basically Kuma being able to be a heal 2 style of card. We saw on the pitch of that Kuma a Gum Red Hawk, right, a nice removal card or counter card in there, and using the leader effect to make that Basil Hawkins a blocker is going to reveal another Basil Hawkins in this life. Basil Hawkins just being a great card, not only because of that on KO effect that I talked about, but that trigger as well. Being able to filter the hand, draw 2, trash 1, might help him out a lot because he has 3 Trafalgar Law 7 costs in hand. I don't think in this game you're going to need 3 of them, right? So maybe it's advantageous to you to be able to draw 2 and trash 1 of those laws, right? You don't get the 1K from the Hawkins, but I think it's a fine price to play from what you could actually draw within this game. So ends up playing that Cavendish, as I talked about, is going to restand to Dawn at this point. So maybe playing down... Oh, does not have the Kyoshiro. Ended up pitching that earlier on the counter. Did not notice that, so can't play that at this point. If a Zeus comes down, maybe a Zeus would actually come down in this next turn, right, to get rid of the Cavendish. Is thinking about attaching 3 onto the Zoro, maybe getting a leader effect, right? Because especially if the Basil Hawkins ends up blocking, right? If you have 3 Dawn attached to your Zoro leader, you'd be able to restand an attack at lead with an 8,000 power swing, kind of minimizing the amount of impact that the blocker has on the field. So we'll say We'll see if he just takes this life. It looks like he will take this life, right? I do like this play and ends up just putting it in hand. Does not do that filter trigger on the turn. And so now passing it off to an 8 Dawn turn for this Eustace Captain Kid. Finds a Gum Gum Red Hawk, which is nice, and starts out with a little bit of poke damage from this Basil Hawkins. The life on the top is not revealed, so we'll be able to use that leader effect at the end of turn. So we'll see how he decides to move around with this Dawn. Right, the Kuma 7,000 power character onto the field is going to command 2 cards or maybe a counter event. Got a couple different options in hand. So it looks like he's actually going to play 7, play one of these laws. This will be nice, right? Could play that Basil Hawkins in the life that they ended up not triggering and be able to attach one to lead swing 6. Now that you have that Basil Hawkins there, right, and especially because that Secret Rare Trafalgar Law puts it in the life face down, really synergizes very well with your leader effect. That's kind of the synergy that they had when these cards first released in OP10 together as a combo. So the Kuma 7,000 power swing is going to command a life. Looks like maybe another 2K, 1K combo coming down for the Zoro to not go down to 1 life. And is going to be exactly that with that 3-cost Swordsman as well as the Hiyori. So now using leader effect to make that Basil a blocker is just a menace at this point. Gotta think that the Eustace Captain Kid is in the driver's seat for this. And why maybe Kid, especially if you get a good matchup bracket with these different Zoros, right, that are swarming the field and are so popular, 15% of the meta in this tournament. Could just be a really good matchup for you to make your way to the top. We saw the Tashigi in a previous draw be had, right? And now being at 9 Dawn total, could go ahead and play a Dracula Mihawk and Tashigi combo, right? Could be able to rest that blocker in the Basil Hawkins. And so is going to play that Mihawk. Restand 4 different Dawn, right, to stay at 5 now. And the Tashigi, if you rest all 5, you would be able to rest the Basil Hawkins, put 3 rested Dawn on the Zoro leader, and you could maybe just go in, swing 8 at the Kuma and not have to worry about losing a life right on that on-KO effect of the Basil Hawkins, and then because you battled a character when they maybe 2K out or something like that, you'd be able to swing 8,000 power at lead. I feel like probably playing Tashigi is your best option at this point. You get to restand more Dawn with the Cavendish, so restanding 2 Dawn on that 7,000 power swing is maybe thinking about leaving 1 up for the Paradise Waterfall, and so uses that block before maybe the Tashigi could come down, is going to burn that life. Another Cavendish, right? The Cavendish, not too big of a deal to be able to... Not a card that you're really utilizing at this point. And so here comes that Tashigi that we were talking about earlier, is just going to go ahead and rest the Luffy, and 3 Dawn going over to the Zoro. So now the Perona battling with the Luffy. Luffy and the Searchers, not as impactful as in the green-yellow Law deck, right? So you just let that go. Don't want to commit anything to it. Now an 8,000 power sling going at the Kuma is just going to be a 2K Zeus to get out of that, and the leader effect is going to be a swing now at life. Using the Basil trigger now at this point to draw 2 and trash 1. Does find 2 2Ks on that draw and pitches another Red Hawk. So not wanting the Red Hawk, even though going out to 10 Dawn at this point. Didn't want to save it for the potential 3,000 power on the counter event. We see another 2-drop Beige blocker at this point. And with the Eustace Captain Kid is going to put this Zoro to 0 life now with the different swings. 9,000 power swing potentially with the Law, 7,000 power base with the Kuma, and another 2 Dawn to be able to utilize in the turn is going to be a 7,000 power lead. The pressure is on Now, for the Zoro, how can you survive this? Can you survive this at this point? You have a decent amount of counter, right? Because you have the Paradise Waterfall event. You have the zero cost event, right? Which can pitch one of your non-counter cards as well as another 2K. But with zero life, are you going to be able to win on the clapback? That's the real question. Still a healthy hand size in the Eustace Captain Kid. It's not looking good for Zoro at this point. And so is going to end up using that zero cost event to get rid of the 3 cost Luffy will be King of the Pirates event card, right? Still has 1 in hand to utilize, but the counter will be able to get you to 8. So now the 5K at lead could just be a nice 2K, I think, from the Zoro. Because you're gonna have to utilize the Dracul Mihawk block for the Trafalgar Lawn. So 9,000 power could just go ahead and block and use the Paradise Waterfall to restand. That's going to be another swing for you at this point. But the 2 is going to be the Capone Beige, right? And then with the leader effect is going to make that 8-drop kid a blocker, and the end of turn effect on the 8-drop kid a draw 1, trash 1 filter effect. I don't think the Zoro does top deck Hody Jones. Hody Jones, I don't know if it's... Is it enough? I don't think it's enough. Hody Jones, a great top deck, and probably the top deck that you were looking for in this game, right? Being able to rest 2 blockers that you see on the field right there. I think it's the play that you have to make at this point. You can restand Mordon with the Cavendish, and you have the 8,000 power Dracul Mihawk, you have the 7,000 power Tashigi, you have leader, right? Is going to go ahead with that Hody Jones, rest the 2 blockers right here, but you need 4 swings to connect. You only have 5 on this attack. He's got to push to be able to win. Starts out with a 6,000 power swing. I like this as the first swing, right? You get to restand. You get 5 Dawn total, right? Even though it's an easy counter out, you do have to make that swing. So now every swing has to connect. So 7,000 power on this swing. He's definitely got the math right. As soon as you counter out of 1 swing, you win. So just 2 2Ks, right? Or 2K, 1K, I'm sorry, going up to 9. And so now at this point, 7,000 power just going at lead is maybe utilizing the when Luffy will be King of the Pirates effect. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Would be able to restand the Zoro and be able to get another 7,000 power swing in, and you have the other swings, but with the 2Ks in hand, you have a 2K, 1K combo to get out of that one. Still 2 life left. No Dawn to utilize, and so now looks like it's going to be the win. Just passes off the turn, says, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. You've got this, Eustace Captain Kid. No cards in hand at this point, and Eustace Captain Kid could be making it to the top 4 of this championships. Remember, chat, you need your cards to stay on the field, right, or in your hand. Don't let them fall to the floor. That's bad news bears, especially when you're running a bunch of alternate arts. So the 8-drop kid prompting the block, the 9,000 power Zoro claiming the win, as we see the one of Eustace Captain Kid pulling out another punch and fighting its way into the top 4 slot. Definitely an interesting game, right? Especially with the Basil Hawkins, right? Basil Hawkins is kind of like your best friend in that matchup specifically, because even though Basil Hawkins, right, very good synergy for your leader effect, being able to make that a blocker and force the on KO effect, right, to burn a life, especially against Zoro, you put them in such a weird position, right? Their leader effect needing to battle characters. They always have to think about the blockers, right? Because blockers are considered battling characters. So, dang, definitely a good match right there. Yeah, Kuma, so good. Yeah, Kuma was the difference in that game. I think the 7-cost laws were really the stabilizer in that game, right? Because you were able to put the Basil Hawkins back in life, be able to choose whether or not you wanted to keep it or maybe like cycle the hand to get all that counter. Definitely crazy, chat. And now onto the top 4. Onto the top 4. We should be getting maybe more OP13 reveals here soon. Chat, are you ready? Oh, it looks like nope, they're just August 23rd, chat. How much would you say matchup skills play into the meta? In this meta, I feel like matchups are impactful, but I think skill is still very highly regarded. Ooh, chat, a new Bonnie. I'll answer the rest of your question here in a sec. Yellow Bonnie, chat. So that's a 5-life, 5,000 power leader. Bonnie. Is that Egghead? That's got to be Egghead. All right, Google Translate. Images. Switch. Bonnie. Let's see. Bonnie. It has another typing. Bonnie Pirates. Bonnie Pirates. Looks like your turn once per turn. When a character with trigger appears, rest on one of your leaders or characters. Google Translate is terrible, chat. Let me show you this Google Translate. Chat, somebody translate this for me. This is what I'm looking at right now. This is terrible. Once per turn. It's like when a character with trigger something, maybe like when you trigger a character or is played off of a trigger. Up to one of your, you rest on one of your leaders. You rest up to 2 of, you rest up to 2 Dawn leaders or characters on your opponent's side. I think. When you play a character with trigger, give up to 2 rested Dawn to one of your leader. Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you, chat. I appreciate you. Very cool, chat. Where's the Roger leader? Oh, wait. So that's 5 leaders, right? That's 5 leaders that we know. So the only leaders that we don't know, there's a 6th leader, and then there's a 6th leader, and then there's Roger. There's 2 leaders that we don't know. Can you give it to a leader? Can you give the rested Dawn to a leader, or is it just characters, chat? I found my yellow leader I've been waiting for. Chat. Egghead. Vegapunk. That means Vegapunk's getting more support, right? In the main set? Yeah, I don't know how good the Bonnie leader is, but that's yellow Egghead leader. No, we know 5 leaders. Because we know Ace, Sabo, Luffy. We know Bonnie. We know Goldie Roger is in OP13. We just don't know what he does. We just know his power and his color. Oh, it's both. Since they only gave us 1 card, do you want your own exclusive announcement? Wait, what do you mean my own exclusive announcement? I would love an exclusive announcement. Depends, though. Black Emu? I hope it's Black Emu. That would be so sick. Yeah, we know the details for 4. We know the full card for 4 of them, and then there's one of them that we got a sneak peek of that we know a little bit of, not the whole thing. And then there's one that we don't know anything about. Roger's colors are red and purple. It was revealed a while ago. What did you just DM me? Mr. Joy Boys. Okay, that's kind of funny, actually. Wait, no, I love your guys' videos when you do stuff like this. Chat, the Joy Boys, if you do not know, one of my favorite Twitch accounts in terms of production. Oh, wait. Never mind. I'm not supposed to show you this. Never mind. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, we know that he's we know that Roger is red purple and that he's a 7,000 power leader, but that's all we know. I don't what's the best way to say this? I don't trust leaks because I have to see it to believe it. Messy. But I think it would be cool to have a Black Emu leader, and I would hope that they would go in that direction, but I don't believe in leaks. Unless the leaks are right about every single other card or leader, I don't believe it. St. Charles is going to be a huge card for the deck. I have no idea what that means. They're reprinting Marigoy so conspicuously. Saturn. Now, I don't even know who Saturn is. Chad, I only know who Emu is because in Japan, they released that big giant Emu plush. And all the time on Twitter, I see people putting Emu in like dresses and like tiaras, or I see them like buckled up in a car like with the seatbelt on, or I see them like riding a roller coaster or something, like these goofy photos of the Emu plush. That's how that's the only reason why I know who Emu is. I don't know anything about Emu. Oh, gotcha. Chat. Joy Boys. 720. What is that? 8 days technically? That's like 9 sleeps for me. Joy Boys, new Curse tournament video coming soon. Exclusive reveal here that you can only get on this channel. Black Navy Garp or something to fit the Windmill Village theme. Yeah, like they have to do something with the windmill. No, they don't have to do something with Windmill Village, right? Because they do that all the time. They like introduce these new types, but they only release like a couple cards. Like think about how many Fire Tank Pirate Capone Beige cards there are. Beige doesn't have a leader. So I don't know. Maybe the Windmill Village will not have a leader. Because they're not pirates, right? Or, well, no, that's not good. Forget I said that part. But they might not have a Curly Dodon leader or a Garp leader or a Makino leader, right? Jake is secretly a Joy Boy. I wish they would put me on their channel. I want to play the Commander format. I want to play the Curse tournament. They don't invite me to anything. They hate me, actually, chat. The Joy Boys hate me. It's confirmed. Yes, Invoked. Thank you. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. Beige deserves a leader. I heard Beige is like the ultimate dad. Is that true, chat? Yeah, OP01 had a bunch of Mountain Bandit cards. And, like, even later, too, in, like, OP02? Right? Yo, what's up, Dudum? How are you? The Fire Take Pirates are only, like, 5 people. Ooh, chat, next round. Top 4 is starting. I'm going to remember to hit recording this time. Oops. Chat, the top 4 of this, it looks like Blue Purple Luffy has survived as the only Luffy left within Top Cut. 4 decks remain. Blue Purple Luffy, Green Zoro, Red Green Smoker, and Eustace Kid. Yeah, because Cavendish has the Beautiful Pirates tag, right? So, who's the Beautiful Pirates leader, chat? That's the real question. I have no idea. Fire Tank, Beige, good dad, bad person. All right, so it looks like the Red Green Smoker is in this game. Going to be facing up against Blue Purple Luffy. So, Blue Purple Luffy, the big bag boogeyman of the format. Pretty much any deck that is running around right now in the format has to consider the matchup into Blue Purple Luffy. So you gotta think that the Red Green Smoker has practiced this left and right, maybe built some tech options, right? Some of the style of their deck for this matchup specifically, right? Blue Purple Luffy being a 6,000 power, 3 life leader, right? Having that effect of looking at the top 5, grabbing a card and reordering it on the top or bottom, going up against Smoker, being able to boost the power on their characters on opponent's turn, as well as restand Dawn, right, as a 5,000 power, 4 life red-green leader. So looks like they haven't decided the rock, paper, scissors as of yet. Looks like deciding that now. The red-green Smoker going first in this game. So we'll see as the I think the Blue Purple Luffy won the rock paper scissors and ended up choosing to go second. So Smoker keeping the hand, putting out the life. We'll see what they got in hand here in a second. Should be a good match here for you today. It's going to be interesting, especially with the banish, right, on the Smoker, right? Especially if 9-cost Linlin goes ahead and puts a card into the life, right, gains a life. The banish can put it right back, right? The banish forcing a 2K to come out of the Blue Purple Luffy's hand every single time it swings. So I think they dropped a card. Remember, chat, your cards need to stay in your hand or on the little, like, ledge thing that they've got on the table. So I'm going to try to cast this as best I can with Cat on my lap. Looks like has a couple different searches in the hand, so opted to keep this and not mulligan. 2 Peronas and 1 Virgo. Going to be looking at the top 15 cards of the deck to find pretty much what they want at this point, and also has a 2K and a 8-cost Dracula Mihawk. 8-cost Dracula Mihawk has been in every single round so far in this tournament. Is it actually the best card? Maybe for green. Maybe for green. The Blue Purple Luffy doesn't have a terrible hand, right? That It's to Die For event and the 4-drop Bon Clay is going to get the couple points of ramp that they need to be able to get their leader effect as fast as possible, and then can use the Nami to cycle in, right? Be able to draw some cards, filter the hand, as well as the 9-drop Linlin being able to remove a body off field and gain a life. So you got to imagine the Virgo coming down on this turn. We saw a Perona Virgo kind of choice for the red-green smoker in a previous round and opted for the Virgo, and it looks like on this turn, I love those Katakuri Dawn sleeves, ends up doing Perona instead on this. So switching it up, ends up finding 2 Hody Jones. And so the 2 Hody Jones going to the bottom deck is actually a huge deal because Hody Jones is so impactful in this matchup. Finds a Paradise Waterfall, right? Another great card that I mentioned in my Market Watch video that you should definitely get because guess what? It's a great card and we're seeing it in every single round of this tournament. Anyways, I'll stop being petty. 2 Dawn turn, the blue-purple Luffy just passes. Very typical for blue-purple Luffy. Doesn't really have anything to play on this turn. Now going to the 3 Dawn turn for the Smoker and is just going to keep searching. Wouldn't surprise me at this point if they went ahead with the Perona and Virgo back-to-back searches. He's playing Kinemon pieces in this deck. Wait, chat, Exodia is confirmed in this. The 2-drop 2K Kinemon legs in this. Now, this is an interesting card that's in the deck. I bet half of you in chat right now don't know what this card does, right? And is going to finish off with the Virgo. We'll see a little bit more searches. Is looking for that Igloo event, right? Because it can, as a Punk Hazard card, be able to get it. Oh, looks like OP10 is down for One Piece top decks right now. And is going to attach the 1 and swing 6 at lead. Get a little bit of poke damage. So is just going to counter out that 1K Nami, especially with that Katakuri in hand, right? You're not really worried, I think. Not really worried in a sense of what they have going on with that Nami. You're going to ramp, you're going to play some big bodies, and that's going to be the end of that for you, right? That's going to be all that you're up to, especially on this 4 Dawn turn. Could potentially see the Bong Clay be put down right here. Would be able to restand or ramp up 1 active Dawn and then be able to swing 7,000 power at lead, but ends up passing the turn. Does not want to swing. Keeps this Smoker at 4 life. Yeah, it does definitely feel bad at this point for the red-green Smoker on the 5 Dawn turn. Can't go ahead and play the 5-cost Smoker. Is just going to go ahead, swing 6,000 power at lead, do a little bit of poke damage, and with the 4 Dawn, maybe is going to go 6 and 6, right? Attach maybe the 4 onto one of these characters. But no, instead just rests 4, plays that Tony Chopper blocker, passes the turn, right? A little bit passive at this point. The red-green Smoker not finding some of the key combo pieces in the first 17 cards of the deck, right? If we're talking about the draw for turn as well as the different searches that they had. So now the blue-purple Luffy looks to be in a commanding spot if they do a little bit of ramping on this turn, right? With the It's to Die For event. Is going to go ahead and go for that, right? Rest those 3 Dawn and bring up 2 Dawn because there is a 6,000 power character on the field. That Tony Chopper blocker is a 6,000 power character. Oh yeah, counting the cards in hand too, as you're pointing out, Scarecrow, in the chat. Yeah, 22 cards and no 5-cost Smoker. Just unlucky indeed, as Jason is saying. But so now with 6 Dawn left, you don't really have too much that you want to play, right? You don't want to burn the Red Rock. Is just going to pass off the turn, right? Doesn't really do anything else except pass. Now that you're at 8 Dawn, right, it's not worth maybe using that event. It's to Die For, right, to ramp even more because you're going to hit 10 Dawn in the next turn. So now Smoker does top deck and find a 5-cost, right? And so 7 Dawn, it's kind of a reasonable spot to play that. Smoker because you are going to, you're not really going to play too much besides Hody Jones anyway on this turn. So now a 7,000 power swing at lead is going to take that life, and the Smoker comes down. Maybe thinking about playing Red Rock in this next turn. I think it would be very curious, actually, if this blue-purple Luffy played Red Rock, but with the Tashigi coming down onto the field to protect against the Red Rock, probably not going to go in that way at this point. And so now blue-purple Luffy using leader effect is going to find a Sanji, but the Sanji doesn't really have great targets at this point, right? Could go ahead and maybe play the 5-drop Nami if they wanted to continue drawing and kind of setting up future turns. But you got to imagine at this point, maybe grabbing this 2K for Nosuke off of the leader effect. But what do you do with the rest of the Dawn? Or the rest of the cards, I should say, within this top. So grabs that Frankie, now reordering the 4. Looks like maybe putting the Gear 2 on top. It'd be Gear 2, Bon Clade, Nami, and Sanji as the order at this point. Would be kind of nice, right? Because you're maybe playing the 9-drop Lin or you're playing the 8-drop Katakuri right now. Just establishing a blocker, establishing cards, right? Kind of buying a turn, trying to find more cards for the Sanji. May go ahead and play the 9-drop Lin, right? To be able to remove one of these cards on the field. Or maybe get that Tashigi to be rested and swing into it. That way it'd be able to dig one more card, but plays the Katakuri instead, that 8-drop blocker, and passes off the turn yet again. So this blue-purple Luffy being extremely passive in this game, right? Passing one time, passing another time. The 4-cost Gum Gum Mole Pistol is going to be a card that maybe is utilized in this one. Could go ahead and minus the blocker Katakuri, as well as getting rid of the Bon Clay. Is going to go ahead, attach one, and swing 8,000 power with this Smoker. So ends up using the Gear 2 to go to 9,000 power right on that banish. You don't want to give up too much of your life. And the 8-cost Dracula Mihawk comes down to restand for Dawn. 3 of them being restood because of the different Smoker effects on your leader and characters. Really just only has events left in your hand at this point. Definitely a tough-looking hand for this Smoker despite all the searches. And goes ahead now and swings 7,000 power at lead once again. If you're the Luffy, the Katakuri block is a good one to have right there, right? Does not deter any cards coming out in the hand. And the Mole Pistol is going to go ahead, minus the Katakuri, pop the Bon Clay, and we may see some swings go at this Katakuri, right? Especially from this Chopper. If he's not swinging at life anyways, you might as well get value with this Tony Chopper in the swings. Is going to 2K out of that one on that minus 5,000. Might think about swinging with this Tashigi. The Tashigi is really important, right? Because if a removal card does come in, you wouldn't be able to, or you wouldn't be able to keep it on the field because Tashigi would be rested. So Virgo is the one to swing with, I feel like, at this point, right? It does match the power of the Katakuri, right? Katakuri currently being a 3,000 power character, and with no counter in hand, you're going to be able to get the knockout right there. And so passes off the turn. Leader effect going on for the blue-purple Luffy once again. The Smoker is kind of starting to figure things out, especially because as the other cards now in the top 5 are not desirable at this point, right? Really just finds another Gear 2 within the top 5 right now. So you'd like to imagine that maybe the Nami is going to get played at this point, maybe drawing the gear 2 for turn or something of the sort. Definitely a tricky situation, I feel like, for the blue-purple Luffy. What looked like could be a good start for the blue-purple Luffy is kind of coming into a little bit of turmoil at this point, right? Because these leader effects are getting so awkward right now, and you're not really doing anything to pressure the red-green smoker, right? They are starting to minus cards in hand slowly but surely, right? Because they're expending different resources to get rid of your bodies. But how long can that actually last? And so grabs the 9-cost Sanji off of that leader effect, put it on top to get the gear 2. And so is going to have that Nami on the top of the deck. Maybe thinking about going 9-cost Sanji into the Nami at this point. So ends up 6,000 power at that Virgo, right? Trying to see if he can get a free block at this point with the Dracula Mihawk and the Virgo going down right on that swing. And so now the 9 coming in. Looks like it is going to be a Sanji into a Nami. Get that blocker on the field to block the Smoker Banish swing, right? Since you don't have too many counter cards outside of that gear 2. And so filtering the hand is going to put the the It's to Die For and another card in hand to the bottom of the deck and pass off the turn right now. Finding a couple 1Ks in case there's some 6,000 power pokes. Draws for turn, finds another Smoker. Could be nice to play on this turn, right? Stacking the 7,000 power banished swings could be very advantageous to you in the long stages of this game, right? Force the Luffy to continuously use the counter events and things that it has in the hand. So thinking about swinging 10,000 power at the Luffy, ends up backing away from that idea. You don't really have anything to play outside of that 5-cost Smoker on this turn. So ends up attaching 4 and swings 11,000 power now. 11,000 power is going to command a lot of cards or potentially the block. And I do like the Nami block right here, right? You don't really give up anything. You're probably going to block with it anyways, and plenty of Dawn still to work with for the Smoker. Looks like 7 Dawn in total, or I'm sorry, 6 Dawn in total at this point. Is going to attach 1 now, swing 6 at lead, right? Try to get the Gum Giants as soon as possible. And the Dracula Mihawk now swinging, getting on the aggressive, right? You already have 1 blocker on the field in the Tony Chopper, so being aggressive, utilizing the Dawn to be able to get out of that swing, go up to 9,000 power on the gear 2 to get out of that. And because of the leader and smoker effects, you're going to be able to restand 3 Dawn for potentially your counter events in the Paradise Waterfall and the Igloo events. Another 9-cost Sanji is found, but still no good targets for this blue-purple Luffy. So what started out as unlucky searches for the red-green smoker right at the beginning of the game has turned into unlucky searches for the blue-purple Luffy. And so thinking about grabbing the 2K for Nosuke, maybe thinking about playing Pudding in this turn, putting Pudding on the, putting it towards the bottom, right? Gets rid of that 1 Sanji, gets a blind top deck of the God Thread. The God Thread, not necessarily overly powerful because you have to target this God Thread to the Tashigi, but if you can utilize the God Thread and get rid of the Tashigi and another one doesn't come down on the field, then potentially your Red Rock, your 9-drop Linlin, right, would be able to potentially get rid of these smokers in some form or fashion. So now Sanji and the blue-purple Luffy going to be swinging at one of these characters on the field. No, it was a 6K swing. It was a 6K swing, Dr. Jones. It's only 1 Dawn attached to the smoker leader that they swung. And so on that 9,000 power swing, is going to go ahead and use that Paradise Waterfall to restand the smoker, is going to keep the smokers alive on the field right now. Paradise Waterfall, a great card right from back in OP01. A little bit of counter, restanding one of your characters, especially because that Smoker, that 5-cost Smoker, is an 8,000 power character on opponent's turn. So that plus 2,000 power is going to put it at 10. The 9-drop Linlin going to get rid of the God Thread and attempt to get rid of one of these characters. Is going to opt more than likely for the Tashigi to put it in the bottom of life to get rid of the blanket protection effect for the rest of the upcoming turns, right? Unless another one comes out on field. The draw for deck is another Kinemon, right? Another 2-drop 2K. I wonder why they're playing this card. It is a Punk Hazard type card, so it is a searchable 2K, probably more than often not the reason. Is going to go ahead with a 10,000 power Banish Swing to be able to take the first life, right? A 9-drop Linlin hitting the trash. Linlin is a good card. Another Banish Swing. Going to be getting an 8-drop Katakuri, so all the big bodies that the blue-purple Luffy was looking for off of the Banish now, and so a 6,000 power swing on the leader is going to get the Bond Clay, and another 8,000 power to lead is going to be able to get this last life, put the blue-purple Luffy to 0, and passes the turn. The Smoker is looking incredible in this game. And so now the leader effect does find a Gravity Blade, right? Gravity Blade might be really nice. You'd be able to get rid of these multiple Banish swings that you've got on the Smokers, right? You'd be able to get rid of 2 bodies while still swinging into the other bodies on the field. And you have in this stack a 2K in the Usohachi to be able to draw, or the 2K for Nosuke to get counter, or maybe even the 1-cost Gear 2, right, is technically 1,000 more counter than the 2 different counter cards. But you got to think about Hody Jones as well. Oh yeah, Kinemon, that Kinemon card is Slash as well. I didn't think about that because it's only his legs on that card. But very, very nice option for this deck, especially running that Perona and Virgo combo on the searches. Ends up bottom decking that stack and drawing the Gear 2 off of the leader effect. Does find a Gum Gum Giant right on this, so does have a little bit of counter to potentially be able to utilize. Does have to think about what they want to use, though. If you go ahead maybe and play down the 8-drop Katakuri, you would have 3 targets for Hody Jones, so it wouldn't be an easy thing to be able to utilize. But on the 9,000 power swing, uses the Paradise Waterfall to restand the Dracul Mihawk, get it to be 10,000 power, and once again skip the Sanji effect. Paradise Waterfall, just such a clutch card in this game, actually. So good. And the 9,000 power swing is going to go in a 2K to get out of that one, because again, the Smoker plus 1,000 power, and now playing the Katakuri, restanding the Linlin, ending the turn, not swinging with the Luffy. So Luffy still letting the Smoker have 5,000 power, is almost starved in this, but the top deck of Hody Jones right here. Hody Jones once again is just going to slam that guy down and rest the 2 done. These swings right here should be able to clear him out of this game with the restands of the 5-cost Smoker and the leader. In excellent top deck, and it looks like the blue-purple Luffy concedes, and finally the red-green Smoker coming in to the finals, winning the top 4 round of this tournament. I don't think he needed the Hody Jones top deck, but it definitely didn't hurt him, I would say. Whew. I would say it wasn't the opening that the blue-purple Luffy was bad, it was the middle game, right? He had the ramps in the early game. He kind of had exactly what he needed in the early game, right, in the opening, but it was after that that he really struggled. The Smoker, though, had a terrible opening, right? Not finding the Smoker in so many cards was crazy. But yeah, Kaguya, also great anime. Love Kaguya-sama. I have that whole series here on this bookshelf over here. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough watching. That was tough watching. But we still have a finals to watch, and I wonder if they reveal the 2 final leaders here. Chad, do you think they reveal the final 2 OP13 leaders? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Okay, they're telling us about it again. Smoker the Goat for sure. Emu leader time. All right, let's see, chat. Who is it? I'm ready to see it. Emu! Oh, there's the Roger, chat. There's the Roger. Right there. He's a 5-life leader? Are you kidding me? Chat, I need a translation stat. What does he do? What does he do? Why is he a 5-life leader? All right, Google Translate. I need you to be better than the Bonnie. What the heck? Where's my Twitter? Roger. Roger Pirates and something else, but I don't know what it is. Pirate King. Let's see. He has an ongoing effect. Something about, like, if you have Dawn on your field, place 1 Dawn on your Dawn phase. The coins will be given to your leader. Dawn cards on your field. This leader gets... Oh, if you have 9 or less Dawn cards on your field, this leader gets minus 2,000 power. If you have 9 or less Dawn cards on your field, this leader gains, or this leader gets minus 2,000 power. What's that first effect, chat? Oh, until 9 Dawn? I think it's if you have 9 or less Dawn. What's the first effect, chat? If you have a Dawn on your field, place 1 Dawn during your Dawn phase. If you have Dawn on your field... What is this? What is that first effect, chat? He's not a straw hat, so he's mid. Can't use Gum Giant. Bad leader. He's a regular leader until... If you have Dawn on your board during your Dawn phase, give this leader 1 Dawn card. Oh, gotcha. Interesting, chat. Interesting. Very cool. Chad, do you like this leader? Okay. Okay, chat. So as Beaches is saying, if you have Dawn on your field... Wait. Or as Lilybit is saying, if you have Dawn on your board during your Dawn phase, give this leader 1 Dawn card. While you have 9 or fewer Dawn on your field, this leader has minus 2,000 power. So he's a 5,000 power leader until the 10 Dawn turn. I think that's pretty fair, actually. No, he's 5,000. He's 5,000 until the 10 Dawn turn. If you have Dawn on your during your Dawn phase, give this leader 1 Dawn card. No, I think it's like attaching Dawn. Is it attaching Dawn, chat? That's crazy. Chat, he's mid. They actually bait and switched us with the power on his reveal. That's 100% true. Are they showing another one? Are they showing the final one? Oh, chat, I think it's Zoro and Smoker finals. You automatically attach one to the leader. He's always down one Dawn. So, interesting. That's so weird. So he's always going to be swinging 6,000 power if he swings. Oh, so I guess when you're saying like he's always a 6,000 power leader, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. On the offensive, he's always going to be at least a 6,000 power leader. I don't... Is it good? Is it good? You're red-purple, but you're not Straw Hat, so you can't abuse Gum Gum Giant? Half of your Dawn is... Or, like, one of your Dawn is always going to be attached to leaders, so, like, your curve is really weird. Right? Like, you have to go second, right? You have to go second as the deck, because if you go first... You can't play a one-drop searcher. So you have to go second if you want to do anything. Unless there's some type of cards that, like, remove Dawn from your leader. Okay, so like so as you guys are saying, if you, let's hypothetically say, okay, you hit a 10 Dawn turn, you don't do any Dawn minusing, you pass, your opponent does the thing, and it comes back to your turn. None of that Dawn goes back to your leader. Well, yeah, maybe there is no one-drop searcher. He's only an 8k power leader when it's his first 10 Dawn turn. All right, Chad. Red-Green Smoker versus Zoro. It's a rematch here in the Miyagi finals. Going to be an exciting one for you, all right. We saw... Or wait, no, it wasn't a rematch. Wait, what did the Smoker play round one? Hold on, wait. No, the Smoker played Bonnie. This is not a rematch. Zoro going up against Red-Green Smoker. Red-Green Smoker has faced kind of the gauntlet of different decks, right? Beat a Blue-Purple Luffy, beat a Bonnie, beat another round here in this championship, and now facing off against this Zoro, right? Beating the best deck in the format and now facing off against the second. It's going to be interesting. We saw it beat another green deck in that Bonnie earlier in the tournament. Can it do the exact same thing, right, with the aggression of Hody Jones, right? Also has access to potentially like 8-cost Kid. Ooh, actually, the Smoker, good point, Grass Dog. The Smoker in the top 4 round beating Yellow Kid as well. So beating Bonnie, Blue-Purple Luffy, and... Or no. The Yellow Kid lost to Zoro, I'm sorry. The Yellow Kid lost to Zoro. That Roger leader is so interesting, chat. Chat, put your guesses in. Do you think it's going to be Zoro that wins, or you think it's going to be Smoker that wins? What do you think? Smoker is going first. You can allow that to influence your decision. Oh yeah, just like every other leader, we need to see more cards for Roger. I mean, we barely have the set list. The Roger art's really good, though. I do agree. And so looking at the Smoker's hand, does have another double search. We'll see if they can find a 5-drop Smoker in these searches. Also has 2 2Ks in the 4-drop Punk Hazard Tony Choppers, right? A nice 6,000 power body, 7,000 power on your opponent's turn. And a mini Hody Jones in the Dead Man's Game Demonic 9-Sword style aura. Oh man, Chad, I'm almost losing my voice. The Zoro's hand right here has a Perona Searcher of his own, but has a little bit more of a better curve, right? You see the Kuina in there to be able to rest a 4-cost or less. You see the Tashigi to rest a 6-cost or less, and then a Dracula Mihawk on top of that to be able to restand on, potentially play out another character that you find with the Perona. The only thing missing in this hand at this point, Cavendish. That's pretty much it, and something you can easily find off this Perona. And so here we go, the finals of the Miyagi Championships. Smoker going first and playing the Perona. And so playing the Virgo, I'm sorry. Playing the Virgo first, looking at that top 5 is going to try to find the Smoker, right? The 5-cost Smoker that was so difficult to find in the top 4 round. Ends up finding the 2K Kinemon that we talked about previously, and a 3-cost Tashigi. Still no 5-cost Smoker, but still has another Searcher that they can play in the next turn to be able to utilize on that 3-Dawn turn. And so now the Zoro for turn is going to play a Perona to be able to look at that top 5. We've seen Zoro sometimes play 5-cost Smoker, maybe not in this deck, seeing some of the tech cards, but finds a couple different options. Finds a 4-cost Zoro, right, as well as a couple Kuinas, but also with Perona being able to find different events, could maybe grab Dead Man's Game, right, that 1-cost event. That's the mini Hody Jones, or the Luffy will be King of the Pirates. And so is going to go ahead and grab the 4-cost Zoro. The 4-cost Zoro is an interesting card. This is something that's on and off since it was introduced in OP12, right, when this format started. Cannot be played from hand by an effect, right? So if you think about like the starter deck 12, Dracula Mihawk can't be played off of that card. And if your leader has a slash attribute, the character cannot be KO'd in battle by slash attribute cards and gains 1,000 power. Great for this matchup, actually, as a sticky body on the field. The Smoker, though, once again on the search, does not find a Smoker card on there. So unlucky once again, but finds Paradise Waterfall. We see that there's plenty of time still to be able to find it, and 7,000 power lead is going to take the first life in the Zoro. And so Zoro now going to 4 Dawn and 4 life. Draws for turn. What does he find off of the top of the deck? It looks like a Tashigi 2K, I think, and starts out with a 5,000 power swing at lead. You got to be careful, right? Taking this first life, you're trying to find the 5-cost Smoker, puts it in hand, does not look like that. Looks like a 1-drop Perona Searcher that you could maybe play in the next turn, right? But actually, if you played it in the next turn, you wouldn't be able to play the 5-drop Smoker. Maybe thinking about doing a Perona Search and 4-drop Tony Chopper play. Does also have that 3-drop Sanji. The 3-drop Sanji going to be a nice card to potentially draw you a card if it gets rested and KO'd. So starts off with this Perona, a 3rd search in the game. What is it going to be? Still no Smoker at this point. Finds 2 Paradise Waterfalls and a Dracula Mihawk, right? Holy moly. This guy can't draw a Smoker to save his life. And so looking at this top, does find that Paradise Waterfall, right, to be able to get some counter onto the field and restand some characters. Is thinking about maybe between the Sanji and the Tony Chopper. And so with that Sanji effect, right, is going to be able to restand 2 Dawn, attach 1-2 lead, because on your turn, the Sanji card is a 6,000 power character, so attaching 1 Dawn is 7 to be able to proc your Smoker leader effect. Now leaving 1 Dawn up, and a lot of times in this scenario, I like this better than a 2K Tony Chopper blocker right at this point, because if they go in and play like the Tashigi, play the Kuina, right, and rest this Sanji, swing into it, you're going to get that on KO effect of drawing a card where the Tony Chopper blocker kind of feels like a wasted 2K at this point. So on this 6, really thinking about if they want to give up another life right now. Has plenty of counter in hand to be able to utilize to get out of that swing, but ends up taking it instead, going down to 3. I think that's a two-drop Koshiro blocker that he's grabbed. So 6 Dawn in total right now. So with 6 Dawn, could utilize a 6,000 power Zoro swing to maybe force a 2K. Is clarifying the amount of power on that Sanji, because it's Punk Hazard, right, is 1,000 power more than it is on that base, so a 4,000 power character. Ends up swinging 6 at lead. So may prompt a Paradise Waterfall event, right, to be able to get out of that. You're probably going to be taking the leader swing, so might as well go counter out of that right now. Ends up using the Dead Man's Game event, so very interesting. Saving the Paradise Waterfall is going to rest 5 for the Tashigi to get that Sanji rested, and 3 Dawn gets attached to the leader to go 8,000 power at the 4 and then restand for lead. So ends up getting that KO, draws 1 card on the on-KO effect. Looks like a 2K Kinemon piece. Still no smoker, and now an 8,000 power swing at lead. You do have plenty of 2Ks in your hand to be able to get out of this, but do you want to go down to 2 life this early in the game to be able to find something that may be utilized in this next turn? And opts for no. Uses the Tashigi and the Kinemon, right, to get out of that swing, go to 9,000 power, and be at the 7 Dawn turn. It looks like drawing another Tashigi, just another 2K right here. Not a lot of great plays at this point for the Smoker, just not great draws right now. We saw him get out of it in the Blue-Purple Luffy game. Can he do it again in this Zoro game? Might be a little bit more tough, as Zoro finding a great curve right now for the bodies on the field. So is going to go ahead, attach to 2 leader, swing 7,000 power at lead. Right, can't be KO'd by slash attribute cards. So that 4 cost not going to be able to get KO'd. Is going to take that life, put it in hand. It looks like another one of those 4 cost Zoros. Might be a nice card to play off the Dracul Mihawk. So 5 Dawn left in the turn. What do you use for this? Do you play the 4-drop Tony Chopper? Because even though it's a nice blocker, it's easy to be deterred off a Kuina or a Tashigi. And so ends up swinging 7,000 power at lead, right? Just another 7,000 power swing, getting those pesky 1-drops that don't find what you need on the swing, and a 2K 1K gets out of that one. 2K Neko Mamushi, just a 2K vanilla that was introduced in OP12, and the Zoro. So passing off the turn, going to the Zoro on an 8 Dawn turn now. Is going to play more than likely that Dracul Mihawk. We see the Hiyori Searcher in hand as well that they may try to utilize with the extra Dawn. Could just go ahead, play the Dracul Mihawk, and maybe just attach 3 to leader, swing at the Virgo, and then get 2 swings in with Tashigi and leader at life. 3 swings with that 5-drop. Zoro looking to be in a very good spot. Is going to play that Dracul Mihawk, like I mentioned, and restand for Dawn. Still plenty of Dawn to work with for so many situations. Is going to start off with the Tashigi swing, potentially at lead. 7,000 power at lead. Is going to go ahead, take this life. Potential trigger could be a mole pistol The Mole Pistol not working outside of minus 5,000 power somewhere. Gotta think about if you want to use this now, right, to be able to minus 5,000 power something, or just go ahead and keep it in hand, maybe utilize it for the next turn, get rid of something like the Tashigi at this point. Is going to go ahead and minus 5,000 power. The Zoro does not get the KO effect because you don't have a 6,000 power or higher character on the field right now, right? The Dawn that's attached to the Virgo goes back down on your opponent's turn. Does deter one swing at least at this point. So clarifying maybe the different parts of the turn. Probably your best play right now is maybe like playing some protection with the 3-drop Tashigi. Especially because you saw one Mole Pistol, you might be thinking about how there might be another one coming. And you could still get a 6,000 power leader swing in, but is going for the Kuina instead. So is going to go ahead, rest the Perona, and get 3 Dawn attached to the leader. The Perona now going ahead, clearing the Perona. We saw the swings with the different 1-drops on the Smoker's side, so makes sense to be able to get rid of those if he's still got nothing going on in hand. And so now clearing that Virgo is going to swing 9 to get 2 2Ks out, and the draw for turn. Just another 2K Kinemon piece. Not looking good for this Smoker at all. Is going to go ahead, play that 8-drop Dracula Mihawk, restand the Dawn for the leader effect now that you have the Dracula Mihawk on the field. So 7 Dawn to work with at this point. 7 Dawn left. How do you distribute this? Do you just put it on both your Perona and leader and just swing for the fences right now? So swings 3,000 power at the Kuina. The Kuina is going to be a pesky body to get rid of these little 1-drops and potentially any blockers that you may have on field. And especially with the Kuina now on the field, if you can get rid of it, right, you maybe feel a little bit more safe playing this Toning Chopper blocker down, right? You saw 1 resting effect on the Tashigi, you saw 1 resting effect on the Kuina, right? Maybe not too many more resting effects for the Zoro at this point, but just decides to swing 10,000 power at lead right now. And so is going to go ahead and block with the Dracula Mihawk and counter out with the different counter cards that you got in hand. You got plenty of counter in several 2Ks and 1K, so just going to be a 2K, 1K to get out of that to go up to 11. Passes off the turn, leaves 1 Dawn up for the counter event of Paradise Waterfall, right? Not 2, just 1. So top decking. What did they top deck for the turn, actually? Was it the 3 cost? I feel like they had most of that in hand. Maybe it was the Perona. But anyways, a full 10 Dawn turn for this Zoro to be able to utilize with these different cards. Has to think about the math, right, to be able to swing over this Dracula Mihawk. I feel like at this point of the game, you don't want to give a free block right now, right? You want to attach 3 to your Zoro to swing 8,000 power. Force them to choose either a life or maybe blocking to maybe a swing at lead. So on this 8,000 power swing is going to go ahead and a block with the Dracula Mihawk. Might think about using the Paradise Waterfall right here to restand the Dracula Mihawk, right? Putting the Dracula Mihawk at 10 does not get KO'd. Now a 7,000 power swing going at lead. The 8,000 power swing because of that 1K power boost on your Zoro because you have a slash type leader. Something interesting to remember, is going to have to give up a card if they want to block with the Dracul Mihawk. If I was the Zoro right now, I feel like I would get aggressive and swing with the 8-cost Dracul Mihawk. Hody Jones in the hand. Could Hody Jones win the game? No way. There's too much counter in the Zoro's hand. No shot. That would be crazy, though. So with the rest of the Dawn, can't necessarily go for lethal at this point. Might be able to with the Perona swing, but very unlikely, right? You need 2 swings to connect, right? Especially with a blocker on field. So it's got 7 Dawn left within this turn. Is going to go ahead and swing with that Dracul Mihawk. 8,000 power at lead. Is going to go ahead 2K, 2K out of it. So is going to go ahead and do that. Is maybe thinking about using the Luffy will be King of the Pirates event, right? Attaching 4 to lead. Going ahead and swinging. Taking that first life. What's it going to be? It's the Smoker. The Salt to the Wound. The Smoker in the hand. And now with the Restand event, right, is going to be able to block. And with the leader effect, going another 9K at lead. Zoro picking up the win of the Miyagi Championships, right? A little unfortunate because the Smoker had such an unfortunate beginning, right, to the game, especially after such a good run in those top 16 and top 4 matches. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes in the One Piece trading card game. Sometimes you have it and sometimes you don't. But Zoro playing an excellent game in that, knowing his outs and knowing when to get aggressive, especially with the different characters on field. And we move on into the post-show of this. Who knows, chat? Maybe they will reveal the final leader of OP13 before the end of the stream. Maybe they'll talk about the ban list, right? Maybe an update on, you know, when the ban list update will be coming, right? Because they did mention in a previous stream how one will be coming. They just haven't said when or what at that point. So I would imagine the next time they talk about it is a when factor. Yeah, best of 1 hurts sometimes. But that's just how best of 1 is, you know? Chat, let's stay a little bit longer, just in case they reveal the Emu. Chat, do you think they're going to reveal the Emu? Do you think they're going to do the Emu? Chat, if you want to see the official translations of the leader cards, I'm going to do a shameless plug right here, chat. This one. Chat, if you want to see the reveals of the leaders in the official translations that we saw tonight. Okay, they're not talking about a leader right now. You can go ahead and join the Discord in the video description on YouTube, or if you're on Twitch, you can do !Discord. I have a bot, you know, that when cards get revealed, they post the automatic translations in the Discord, right? It does it all the time, and sometimes I put stuff in there too, like I put the PRBO2 full set list that we got, minus the alternate arts in there. So, bam, there we go. So make sure to join the Discord chat. Join us. There's over 700 of you in the Discord, which is crazy to me. It won't be Emu. You think it's Loki? I don't know who Loki is. Are you talking about the, in terms of the all have been right, are you talking about the leaks? I don't, Cool Crash, they wouldn't say like, oh, these cards are going to be banned. What they would do, oh, dang, there's no translations. What they would do is they would say that there will be a ban list update on this day, or, you know, at this championship or whatever. That's what they would do. They wouldn't like, or at least historically, if we're going by what they've done in the past, they don't just like ban leaders on the spot like that. They give us like a heads up on like, we're gonna announce it on this day or whatever. Messi, believe Messi. Where's my Kokoro leader, chat? Give me the Kokoro leader. I bet that's the last leader. Kokoro. Oh my gosh, I have so many Twitter notifications, chat. Thank you so much for the support on Twitter. The Goldie Roger is super interesting. Ban Buggy. Yeah, you know what? Ban Buggy. He's so bad, and it's been so embarrassing how bad Buggy is. Just get him out of the card game, right? Just get him out. Get him out. Ban him. Gaimon leader. Give us Brook. Oh, yeah. Cool Crash. I mean, they mentioned it, so it is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But it's so ambiguous that, like, they could wait 6 months. Kokoro leader OP12.5. Altia's had 2 sets of sleeves and no leaders. The one with her, the like yellow bordered one. The yellow bordered one where she's like sitting and I think she's like drinking tea or something. It's so pretty. I love those sleeves. Or something. It's so Don't ban Buggy. I won't, Lori, just for you. I won't ban Buggy. Mono Black Brook leader, Prage. I hope Brook is a Mono Black Brook leader. It would be cool if he had like a Rumbar Pirates package and he could utilize the EBO1 Brook. Especially because now it's getting reprinted, so it's going to be more accessible. Did my stream crash, chat? I just got the Twitch notification of like, manage your dashboard. Unban Jinbei, free my goat. No, keep that guy banned. I hate that guy. I hate that Jinbei. Although Doflamingo would, I wonder how Doflamingo would be if Jinbei was still around. Probably not that much better than he is right now, right? I'm trying to listen for like keywords. I don't think they're gonna unban any of the cards ever. Like, I think the cards that are banned are just gonna be banned. It's probably my internet. But it seems we have good connection right now, so that's what matters. I didn't see an interruption on the stream, so it might have been restream. Yo, what up, Sinbad? Oh! Is this the Season 1 finals? So, chat, it looks like I think we're having a live stream on August 16th. Mark your calendars. Ooh, look at this Championship Shanks card, chat. Let me see, what does this say? Let's see. Oh, Kyoto Championships on August 16th. I think it's Kyoto on August 16th. What is this?
予定しております。こちらも皆さんぜひお見逃しのないようにチェックしていただければと思っております。
I don't know what this means.
さあそれでは配信終了の時間が迫ってまいりました。配信ご覧になって
Frantically uploading stuff on Google.
ありがとうございました。改めて準優勝のライデン選手、そして優勝。
Ooh, August 2025 chat. August 2025 ban and restricted cards to be announced. Update to the ban list and restriction list. August 2025 confirmed. August 2025 chat. Dang, that's cool. All right. Ban list in August chat. Dang, you guys are so smart. You guys already knew ban list. What the heck? Yeah, that's what it says. No cap chat. Right here. August 2025. Banned and restricted cards to be announced. Now, we don't know when in August 2025. And so there's a chance that Dallas OP12, a chance, chat, don't quote me on this, but because August 2025, Japan is announcing a ban and restriction list, and the way that the West has been adopting the restriction list from Japan, right, trying to give us unique and unsolved formats, there's a chance that the Dallas LCQ is with the ban list. There's a chance, especially because it's in September, right? It's probably like a month after this announcement. Yeah, I just used Google Translate up here, which I'm sure is not great. But chat, I am going to go ahead and head off to sleep. I got a lot of work to do, chat. I got to get these matches up. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the stream. I had a ton of fun on this, and thank you to everyone that helped me translate these cards because Google Translate is terrible. And even though, chat, I hit 900 days on Duolingo, I am nowhere close to being fluent in Japanese. But I appreciate all of you coming. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I will, if you missed any of these commentary videos, I will be posting them on YouTube as always, and you can always refer to the VOD as well to look back on that if you want to. We'll talk in theory of what is going to be banned, when things are going to be banned. We'll also talk about some of the leaders as well that were announced in OP13 very soon on the channel. Don't you worry. I'll get you all of the scoop here soon. And chat, thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciate this live stream. It was a good live stream, chat. There were a lot of you in here today, and I super appreciated it. Also, T-Mac, Nutuamoto, Sebi, and Royski. Thank you so much for following on Twitch. Good night, chat. It's 2:30 a.m. for me, and I'm going to be up a little bit longer, so